afternoon and welcome to the snow globe that is Benedetti Worley Stadium on the campus of North Central College for the second round of the NCAA Division III Football Championship as the defending national champion North Central Cardinals make their playoff debut this season, hosting the Panthers of Hanover College alongside Grant Sabo. I am Alex Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. And Grant, another year of playoffs here in Naperville, and we're greeted by quite the weather day here, and it's quite a day of weather across the upper Midwest, one of several games being impacted by the elements. We are, thankfully for us, warm and dry up here in our perch at Benedetti Worley Stadium, but I think we've got a really fun game of football ahead of us.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of the last time that Hanover came here, which was the last time we had a snow game like this back in 2018.
Cardinals saw a little bit of snow in the playoffs last year in their national quarterfinal victory over Springfield, but it was nothing quite like this. Cardinals, of course, 10-0, 9-0 in the CCIW, champions of the conference. Yet again, their sixth consecutive year with at least a share of the conference. Hanover, meanwhile, they are champions of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, having gone undefeated in league play this year as well. And last week, they hosted and beat Grove City in their opening round game. First playoff win at home in the history of Hanover football, so that's a big accomplishment last week for them as they now go on the road here looking to pull what would be a major upset in the fourth all-time meeting between these squads. Grant, you mentioned that 2018 game, which appeared in the first round, basically the same stage as this game.
Yep.
Cardinals won that game 52-0. Hanover, back in the day, having won the two initial meetings. We will do our best to call out yardage markers and everything else we can, given the obscured visuals today. Although shout out, as we'll mention them throughout the game, the non-dressed members of the football team, primarily freshmen and sophomores, have been outfitted with snow shovels today and are stationed around the field to try to keep things as usable as possible. Aiden Ellison, number 32, has the ball down on the tee, the first team all CCIW kicker this year for the Cardinals. Back to receive the opening kick. Looks like Caleb Crutchfield and Clark Rexroth. Excuse me, it's Trent Kale and Clark Rexroth. With the wind at his back coming out of the southwest, Ellison ready to get us underway here in Naperville. And it's playoff time once again at North Central. Rexroth fielding this ball at his own 7-yard line. Tackler slipping, and Rexroth with a good return as he dives out across the 30-yard line. And the Hanover offense will go to work. They are led by Offensive Player of the Year in the HCAC, junior quarterback out of New Palestine, Indiana, Ian Raudebush.
Yeah, very interesting in that this is a very strong Hanover team coming in here. They swept their conference awards, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. So as the HCAC goes, this is as good as they get.
Raudebush just trying to get some footing in the backfield. And already a flag as there was movement along the offensive line. And before a ball is snapped, 5 yards backward go Hanover.
Not to start
Number 77, 5 yards, first down.
Hanover on the offensive line. It's Bryce Shepard at left tackle. Ben Percival, first team all HCAC at left guard. Joshua Jones at center. David Holloway at right guard. Owen Cruz at right tackle. The motion man at running back is Blake Nation. Raudebush hands to Nation, gets around the right side and has room to run. Blake Nation for a first down and a whole lot more down the far sideline, and Kyler Green pushes him down at the North Central 30. Big play on the first snap from scrimmage for the Panthers.
Boy, and that was a huge, the way that he was able to get outside and get the corner, and North Central really doesn't have the footing that they need to be able to kind of play to their speed. I think they're going to have to play a little bit more outside here in order to prevent things like that.
47 yards on the carry.
The snow is a big negator of the team's speed overall.
Nation, the sophomore out of Smithfield, Kentucky, averaged just 4.6 yards per carry this season. Raudebush sending 3 different men in motion as across the formation goes Kirby and Shelby. Raudebush securing the high snap, throws over the middle, and that ball is dropped. Likely not the last time we will see that today. The intended receiver was the second team all-conference man, number 2, Jack Pennington.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of these receivers actually shed their gloves before the game gets too far gone here. They are very effective when it is dry conditions or even rain, but a lot of times in the snow, those gloves can actually be detrimental to helping you catch the football.
Raudebush in the pistol. It's again Nation in the backfield. 2 tight end set as Scotty Johnson, first team all HCAC, goes in motion left to right. Raudebush on the QB keeper, a play that never developed, and J.P. Sullivan, the defensive player of the year in the CCIW, drops him for a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, that was supposed to be an option, but the pitch man was covered, and so the quarterback had no choice but to eat it. They played this really well.
And Sullivan just comes in completely unblocked. J.P. Sullivan, senior from Lake Villa, Illinois, in Lakes High School up on the North Shore of Lake Michigan, north of Chicago. Maverick Oli, the transfer from Ohio University, checking in along the defensive line ahead of 3rd down and 14. Top 10 in the nation this year on 3rd down are the Panthers, 54% in the regular season. DJ Grinter, the motion man. Raudebush back to throw, under pressure immediately, looking for options. Still Raudebush, a flag is thrown behind the play as he completes to Grinter. And Grinter is slung down just shy of the 1st down marker. If the play stands, it'll be 4th and 1, but there's a flag back in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, preliminary indication is holding.
Saw Matt Janiak, the linebacker, on a blitz breakthrough. Looked like he might have been pulled back. Raudebush was looking to the sideline with some confusion. And it is an offensive holding call, so this will be a 10-yard penalty. Our referee today is Robert Foss. Hopefully we'll have him over the audio here on the broadcast as much as we can. As you just see behind the play there, Janiak was clean through and got his jersey grabbed. Easy decision for the officiating crew today.
You know, it's funny, too, given that there's likely not a CCIW crew, CCIW crews have generally called less holding both ways all season long, so we might see a little bit more of that with different officiating crews coming in.
3rd down and 24. Cardinals will rush just 3. Raudebush dumps it off short. Grinter, the reception. Grinter sheds a couple of tackles and eventually is brought down by Eli Reddick. Picked up 7 or 8 yards, but it's going to be 4th and long, and a decision time here.
They'll go for it.
They have a pretty good kicking game. Clint Hearn has a long of 52 this season.
Yeah, without a good plant foot and with how aggressive they typically are. And if in our conversation with the head coach yesterday, he said that they're there to score touchdowns. They're not there to kick field goals, and they're not there to punt the ball. So he said look for them to be aggressive today.
3 out of 4 last week on 4th down against Grove City. On the season, they are 65%. Cardinals will rush 4. Raudebush stands in. He's in trouble, and he trips up under his own feet on the snow. I think Bobby Medina will get credit for the sack, but truly it's Mother Nature who forces the turnover on downs.
Yeah, really. I mean, the footing out there is just playing havoc. You see with the Cardinals and how slow they are at reacting when typically, you know, it's next to impossible to run outside on this team, and they were able to get outside a few times.
Yeah,
especially for that long gainer, and then, you know, the quarterback just trying to plant. And I think trying to kick a field goal there off your plant foot when it's a little bit wobbly, too, you're not going to have the distance that you normally do. So I agree with the decision to go for it. It was just an execution issue.
Credit to Bobby Medina and his awareness for just getting 2 hands on Raudebush after it's over, because Bobby knows that not only ends the play, it's going to get him credit for a sack. First play for the Cardinals is Sean Allen, and he slips as he cuts upfield after a gain of maybe 2. No Donovan McNeil today for North Central. McNeil, after just an absolute monster day against Illinois Wesleyan in the North Central season finale, he rushed 21 times for 202 yards, but unfortunately on that 21st rush, felt something in a hamstring, and he's being precautionarily kept out of today's game. 2nd down and 9. Wilson handing again up the middle. Allen runs right into the Defensive Player of the Year in the HCAC, up to make the tackle, Brian Wall, the sophomore, leading tackler on the season for this Panther team. And it's going to be 3rd down and 6 to go for the Cardinals on offense. 50.5% on the season, the Cardinals on 3rd down.
Yeah, being able to plant when you see an opening is a paramount skill for a running back. And to not be able to use that, it really, I think this is going to boil down to who can run the ball better between the tackles.
Late sub here for the Cardinals. It's Isaac Banker, the tight end, replaces Jalen Johnson. Banker in motion, 3rd down and 6. There was a lot of motion there, and the play's blown dead. It's going to be false start on the Cardinals. It'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, everybody went early.
Offense, number 8, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Called it on Rummel, but I saw Allen leave. I saw a few people.
Well, and there was 1 or 2 snaps on the first play of the first series of the game, I should say, by Hanover, where there looked like there was some uneven motion. And that's another thing with players thinking so much about their footing, especially on that offensive line. You know, you could just slip a little bit and draw a flag. Call it 3rd and 12 in the end. Allen on the left hip of Wilson. Garrett Wilson to throw. Wilson with time dumps it to Grant McAtee. McAtee's got some blocking, and he's out of bounds right near the marker. It will depend on the spot.
Oh, they marked him like 2 yards short. That's interesting.
And it's going to be 4th down and less than 2. We'll check exactly the marker. Good run after the catch here by McAtee. A good block on the outside.
I mean, it's hard to tell where he went out of bounds because we can't really see.
And the Cardinals are going to bring on the punt team. Not the characteristic aggressiveness we might be used to as this ball is on their own 46-yard line, but this feels like a situation where, you know, you're kind of playing the percentages and doing the smart thing, pin your opponent back.
Yep.
So both teams, nothing on their opening series, despite a big run to start the game by Hanover's Blake Nation. Chip Dose sends a end-over-end punt into the air, and is fair caught at the 19-yard line of the Panthers, and that's where their offense will look to start as quickly as they did on their first drive. 9:29 to go here in the first quarter, 0-0 in what's likely to be a fairly low-scoring affair. And looking around the country at how the day is going so far, we've seen some low-scoring games impacted by the weather. Mount Union does lead Muhlenberg 35-0 at halftime. John Carroll 14-6 over Randolph-Macon. LaGrange 14-8 over Barry. UW La Crosse and Hope scoreless at halftime. Both these teams will be hoping I should say the Cardinals will be hoping that that's not the case here. Raudebush on the QB keeper on 1st down. Nowhere to go. He stood up and dropped, maybe as he got back to the line of scrimmage, or perhaps a slight loss on the play.
Yeah, this is going to need to be straight ahead running. Nothing fancy.
Kyler Green got there first, up from his safety position. Green getting the start at safety today alongside Braden Garrigan, with Jamar Daniel and Mari Roby at cornerback filling out the defensive secondary for the Cardinals. 5 wide here on 2nd down and 10. As Nation moves into the backfield. Raudebush to throw, setting up the screen, and Nation dropped the football.
Second drop we've seen so far today in as many series by Hanover. With them being a pass-first team, the elements don't play into their favor in this one.
A team that puts the ball in the hands of Raudebush a lot. 104 rushing attempts this season for him, by far the most on this Hanover team. Third and long. Raudebush standing in, nowhere to go, and now he's going to try to run it himself. Sullivan and Nuccio meet him at the sideline. He'll pick up 3 or 4 yards, but it'll be 4th down for Hanover.
Yeah, and that's the exact type of performance that the Cardinal defense wants there. No choice but to punt.
John Sullivan, J.P. Sullivan, showing off his athleticism there, the big defensive tackle getting all the way to the sideline.
I mean, when you put some salt bags in the back of your truck there, you get a little bit more traction in the snow. So.
Reason number, well, way down the list, reason number 47, let's say, to get into the weight room. On the punt, this is Nick Stoner, the freshman, and he fumbled the ball. Stoner is wrapped up, and Jalen Johnson gets the sack in the end. Also in on the play was number 5, David Ballard III. It'll be 1st and goal, North Central, and these are the sorts of miscues on a day like today, Grant, you have to avoid.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for David Ballard III. I got a funny feeling we're going to be calling his name a lot today.
Let's take another look, and just at the end there, Ballard III and Johnson, 2 wide receivers get to the punter after the freshman muffed the snap. And now the Cardinals, it won't quite be 1st and goal, to spot the ball at the 11-yard line. And let's see how North Central approach this series after they went largely nowhere on their first drive. Jack Rummel wide left. Thomas Skopna is in the slot to the right with Johnson at the bottom of your screen. It's a rush for Allen right up the middle. Patient running for Sean Allen, and he falls forward down to the 7.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. Let the offensive line win the ball game.
When we talked to Coach Theobald of Hanover yesterday, he noted that it's going to be quite a battle for his guys in the trenches, likened it to when they faced Butler, a non-scholarship FCS program, in week 2 of this season. They lost that game 16-7, but a massive improvement on a 53-0 loss to the Bulldogs last year. Skopna, the motion man. Wilson, the toss to Allen. He's got blockers ahead of him, but is going to be met right at the line, and it's Brian Wall up from safety to make the stop.
Yeah, it's just, in normal circumstances, we're used to seeing him get that edge because he's quick enough, but with no traction here, it's such an equalizer, the snow.
Third down and 5. Cardinals can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. Isaac Banker and Will Diamond both in the game at tight end. Excuse me, just Diamond. He's on the left of the line. McAtee in the slot to the right alongside Thomas Skopna. Wilson to throw. Wilson looking for the screen, and he missed Allen. Took Sean Allen a couple extra seconds to get out to that spot as he stumbled in the snow. And the Cardinals will bring on the field goal unit after they cannot take advantage of the field position.
Wow. Credit Hanover D.
Take another look here, and you'll see that it takes Sean Allen.
He got hit.
Gets bumped there at the line. That's actually just really smart play in the end of the day.
Yeah, Colton Roth. Excellent job, young man.
Roth, a junior defensive tackle out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Here is Aiden Ellison for the Cardinals. Ellison, 12 out of 13 on the season with a long of 57. Chip Dose has the task of holding this football. Ellison's kick is up, and it is good. The Cardinals get on the board with 6:35 to go, and they lead 3-0 off the foot of the first-team all-conference kicker, Aiden Ellison. Any points are good points today.
Yeah, especially today. It's going to be so hard to get going, and there's going to be a lot of kind of freak things that are going to happen, so take them where you can get them.
To continue down that national scoreboard, as I mentioned, UW La Crosse and Hope were scoreless at the half. Also at halftime, Susquehanna leads Christopher Newport 21-7. Eastern leads Franklin and Marshall 21-14. Salisbury leads Endicott 20-7. And Johns Hopkins leads Springfield 20-7. Another early game is right now is Trinity, Texas, leading Hardin Simmons 7-0. But after he made that great play on 3rd down on the turf right now is number 52, Colton Roth. Roth, 13 tackles on the season this year after only playing 2 games each of his first 2 years, the Lawrenceburg High School product. And it's good to see him back to his feet as he'll make his way to the sideline. So in the end of the day, the Cardinals scoring drive, 4 yards and a field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see what Hanover does here. I think their offensive complexion looks a lot better, a lot different without those 2 drops. I think that really played a lot into what we've seen so far today as far as their effectiveness.
Also, I'll be interested to see next time the Cardinals get the ball, when, if at all, do we see Demir Asheru at quarterback today? Because obviously Garrett Wilson, first-team All-Conference in the CCIW, but he is a guy who, while he can run, is much more of a pocket passer type. And today, I don't know how
that
much
we see Asheru because he's not so straight ahead.
That's a good point.
He's a lot of slicey and dicey, and we've seen so far today that these conditions are not conducive to that.
Ellison boots this away. A man with plenty of touchbacks this season will add another as that ball rolls onto the back of the end zone and out to the 20 go Hanover. 25, excuse me.
I would like to see Zeb Rashid.
Yes, Zeb Rashid, the freshman running back, bit of a bowling ball.
Power runner. Very much like McNeil.
Galashki Blaze, Jordan Williams, other potential options today in the offensive backfield for the Cardinals. Some confusion here about where the ball is supposed to be. And I think it's the same confusion I just had of remembering that.
Where is it, the 25?
Where is the 25? Is it the 20 or the 25? Yeah, I think we'll give everybody some slack there, as it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for Raudebush and company. He's got 2 backs with him. As in motion goes Scotty Johnson. Raudebush takes a high snap. Kept it himself in the end of the day, it looked like, and ended up picking up 6 or 7 yards.
You know, there have been several high snaps so far. That's something that could play into the game later on as well.
Center is a freshman, Joshua Jones, out of Stowe, Ohio. 2nd team All-Conference. Second down and a long 2 here for Hanover. The running back is Josh Williams. First time we've seen him today. Raudebush gives to Williams. Williams trying to push to the right side. Got a good second effort there, and it's enough to pick up the 1st down.
Boy, a real effort play there, especially to be able to churn when you don't have traction. A lot of times keeping those legs going with some forward lean, and they end up behind you.
Take another look here. It looks like he's going to be stopped, but then he just finds a little bit of an extra give there as he was tackled by Maverick Oley. 1st down and 10, right at the 35. Snow continuing to accumulate here in Naperville. It's been basically a constant rate of snowfall since 6 a.m. this morning. Raudebush rolling, will dump this short, and this is only going backwards, as stood up and then dropped is Jack Pennington. They'll give him forward progress. Still going to be a loss of 2 yards.
He was able to get by that block. Right here, he gets off the block. Actually, probably have been called for a block in the back there too.
If it wasn't successful, or Ethan Groark just hanging on for dear life there to his ankle. We've seen this a few times today. Guys aren't eager to go down with the footing here in the snow, but might be an example of a time where just, hey, once you realize you aren't getting any further, just to hit the deck, make sure you don't result in a fumble or anything worse. Anybody who watched the Bears and the Eagles yesterday knows that sometimes making that extra push is not worth it in terms of ball security. 2nd down and 12. Moving into the backfield is Shelby. Raudebush fakes to Shelby, looks to go up the middle himself and does not get far. J.P. Sullivan and Danny Nuccio, with a little help from Braden Garrigan as well, make the stop. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for Hanover.
That's the recipe, that they do need to go up the gut. The problem is that there's Sullivan and Ole there.
The problem is that if you go forward, the entire front defensive 6 of the Cardinals were 1st team All-CCIW inclusions. and they'll likely have multiple all-region players in that group as well. 3rd and 11. Raudebusch to throw, has some time, and is running out of it, throws over the middle and completes, but Nuccio makes the tackle as Scotty Johnson made the catch. It'll be 4th down and long enough that I assume we'll see a punt. But the offense is going to stay out there for now. This would be really aggressive, and you wonder how much that fumbled snap on the last punt has to do with the decision making here.
Sure. You know, you could see a situation like we saw with Rudder and Lannon where they do a little quick kick. We did see Illinois Wesleyan do something like that a couple of weeks ago.
Raudebusch has punted a couple of times this season, so it's not like they haven't done it. 4th down and 2. And a timeout, Hanover.
Okay, they're trying to draw them off.
We'll see if they stick with the offense or not. Again, we really like the kind of that aggressive nature that we heard from Matt Theobald. And, you know, you just have to balance, you know, when is it the right time? If nothing else, it's refreshing, you know, as observers of this North Central team who so often we kind of bemoan that teams who come in here to Benedetti Worley as the underdog, they don't take the necessary swings to give themselves a chance to win the game. Now here it's a little different because not only are we in the playoffs, but due to the elements, you know, this is not a game where North Central are going to be able to literally run away from their opponents. And so if you're Hanover, you might have to be a little more pragmatic than you would ordinarily be.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. But also, too, you know, you've got a situation where you're 4th and 3 here. I can't see any of the yard markers, but I assume somewhere near midfield. And, you know, with an opportunity to make something happen. So, and he said they like to do it, and he's going to ask his quarterback, do you think we can get it? And if the quarterback says yes, he's more than likely to listen.
Hanover are 0 for 3 on 3rd down now. They are 0 for 2 on 4th down so far in this game, though technically that fumbled punt does count as one of those. 4th and 2. Raudebusch empties the backfield and now sends a man in motion. Raudebusch throwing to the right side, has a man complete for a 1st down to Jack Pennington.
Perfectly executed play. That's exactly what they needed.
Good play design, good execution. We'll take another look here. Raudebusch has the time to set his feet, and it's an easy pass to a receiver being covered by a safety. And on 4th and short like that, Braden Garrigan's simply not going to be able to get there in time.
And coming in today, this is a team that's 15th in the country on 4th down. Excuse me.
Top 20 in both 4th down offense and defense.
Yeah.
It's a team that really prides themselves on how they execute in those situations. 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle, and Williams is just swallowed up by Matt Fricoli. Maybe a gain of 1.
Who's that jumping over the top there?
That was Danny
Nuccio's having a good time here in the snow. Like a polar bear out there.
Yeah, with 1:50 to go in the 1st quarter, haven't had a chance to get the shovel crew out there in a while, so they'd hope that this is about as snowy as the field will look at any point today. Forecast between 8 and 10 inches of snow in Naperville today over the course of about 17 or 18 predicted hours of snowfall. Spencer in motion, 2nd down and 9. Raudebusch to throw. Raudebusch is flushed out, and Medina put the pressure on that ball, tipped up in the air. And on a drier day, maybe Danny Nuccio gets back to that football. Instead, it's incomplete and brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, really good wherewithal to get some mitts on the ball. Just not enough to be able to get back to it, not enough traction.
The incompletion brings up 3rd down.
Medina and Sullivan, the bane of existence for many a quarterback or running back this season. 3rd down and 8.
3rd and 8.
Again, despite the fact that they've moved the ball okay, Hanover yet to convert a 3rd down. Raudebusch doesn't get a jump from the defense. Communicating now to his receivers. Scotty Johnson in motion. Raudebusch to throw. Raudebusch in trouble, and down he goes. No, he got the ball away to an offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's a flag.
And now it's not a fumble, which is smart by the Cardinals for jumping on the football, but this is going to be an example of he's avoided the sack, Raudebusch, and he's going to avoid intentional grounding. What he's not going to avoid is throwing to an ineligible receiver.
Right.
And so now the referees are going to talk this one over, because I'll be honest, I don't have a confidence, if I know the rule here, is if this is like intentional grounding
Where they lose the down.
and it's a loss of down.
I feel like it should be, but who
Down.
knows?
Or even if it is, do the Cardinals simply decline this penalty?
Here we go.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 15. Loss of down at the spot of the foul. 4th down. Correction. 15.
So there is...
All right, so it was
They
grounding.
are going to call this grounding, which I think is kind of academic. What exactly the call is here is, again, credit to Raudebusch for avoiding the sack and having the presence of mind to fling that ball forward. The only problem for him is it wasn't a running back sitting there. It was his right guard. That was David Holloway, who was not expecting the football. And so now back into punt is Nick Stoner, who on his only previous action of the day fumbled the snap. Cardinals showing that they're going to bring pressure. Grove City got very close
Oh, he
a
skipped the
couple
ball
of
in.
times last week, and that ball, really good job in the end here by Stoner to get that ball away as it dies in the snow at what I believe is the 34. Bad snap on the punt, and again, huge credit to Nick Stoner for getting any sort of decent contact with his foot on that ball.
Honestly, I think the ice is the only reason that ball got back to him. I mean, it skidded back.
And the clock stops at 1:01 to go here in the first quarter, which means the snow continues to accumulate. And we're going to see Zeb Rashid for the first time today in the Cardinal backfield, number 34. Rashid, the freshman out of Neponset, Illinois. 45 rushes this year for an average of 8 yards a carry.
It's all right, I guess.
Not too bad. Diamond and Banker, both tight ends, are lined up as H-backs. Wilson, play action, is going to look to go long, and he's looking for Rummel, who is open, and here goes Jack Rummel. Rummel spinning, and he's brought down inside the 25. And we see Wilson air it out. Both Skokna and Rummel got behind the defense, and the Cardinals take advantage of this aggressive Hanover secondary.
Yeah, they brought in that 2 tight end set and looked like they were going to run the ball, only to take a stab at it. I think it was a 2 receiver route.
Again, they were both open. In the end, a touchdown-saving tackle by number 5, Kane Powell-Smith. First down, Cardinals at the 17. Gonna be doing
Had
a
to
lot
math that out.
Yeah, going to be doing a lot of line counting today. Wilson keeps this himself, and he's got some room. Garrett Wilson to the near side is out of bounds. No, they're going to say the clock should keep moving inside the 10-yard line, and that will end the first quarter. Well, I'm not sure what kind of game we expected, Grant Sabo, but it's 3-0 North Central at the end of one, and you know who's winning this game so far is the Elements.
Yeah, without a doubt. As far as Hanover is concerned, this is an excellent case scenario for them. You know, they haven't really looked all that outstanding offensively, but the Elements are kind of combining with the Hanover defense to stifle the North Central offense. So, you know, we only have 3-0 going here at the end of one.
Meanwhile, if you're North Central, there is nothing more paramount than getting the ball into the end zone as you see the shovel crew go to work. Good shot by our camera crew as well, who are braving the elements just like those guys with the shovels today.
I can see them covered in snow from here.
At this time, we proudly request that any current or former members of our armed forces please stand to be recognized. Fans, so let's hear it for these men.
Total yardage 77-50 in favor of the Cardinals. North Central will have run 10 fewer plays than the Panthers have. 9 yards for Allen, 8 for Wilson on that carry. Garrett Wilson is 2 out of 3 for 60 yards, 50 of them coming on that last completion. It's just the kind of day it's going to be.
Hope you like defense.
Time of possession, North Central 3:58 to Hanover's 10:01.
Oh my goodness.
In that first quarter. I mean, North Central are not strangers to not having the ball very much, but normally it's because they score too quickly rather than, well, whatever this is. 2nd and 2, right up the middle goes Rashid for a first down. Zeb Rashid near the goal line with a nice second push there. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 2.
That's the move all game long.
Tackled by
hand it to Rashid between the tackles and let him do his thing. Let him churn out 8 yards. He's a very good straight-ahead runner, which is what we need today. Just get that forward lean going and give what you can.
Dawson Trebolo, an extra tight end, checks into the game here. I said off mic before the game, I thought Zeb Rashid would end up being the leading rusher in this game due to the elements. Grant McAtee is the fullback. 2 tight ends on the left end of the line. Skokna is the lone receiver. The give to Zeb Rashid. Zeb Rashid is stopped short.
Wow.
Great work by Hanover.
Excellent work by Hanover. Really kind of washed that sideways, didn't let the North Central offensive line get the vertical push that they needed in order to get Rashid into the end zone.
Senior linebacker number 32, Ashton Shooter, led the way.
Yeah, I also saw a really good effort by 28.
Brian Wall. He's always going to be around the football on basically every play. 2nd and goal from the 1. Rashid on the hip of Wilson. Skokna to the right, Rummel to the left of the line. Again, 2 tight ends as Skokna trips as he goes in motion. The give to Rashid. Zeb Rashid to the goal line. No signal yet. He is short again.
Wow.
A big stand here by the Hanover defense. Rashid inches from the goal line, but not there yet. It'll be 3rd down.
Run it again. Run the exact same play again.
McAtee in, Trebolo out. Big moment here for Hanover. Their fans are down to our right, complete with their cheerleaders who made the trip as well. Everybody is here on the near side today so that they didn't have to bother clearing another set of stands or a path to get to them. 3rd and goal from the 1. Rashid up the middle. Zeb is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals. Oh, look out.
Is he doing a snow angel or did he fall?
He tried to do a very abbreviated Lambeau leap, and in the end, only went down. So I think that'll be the last time we see anybody attempt that today. But he's to the sideline to celebrate with his teammates, and the first touchdown of the day goes to the freshman running back, as now on kick clearing duty is John Golden Jr., the right guard. As now Chip Dose and Aiden Ellison are out there to take care of the extra point. Maybe the biggest day of the year for Chip Dose, the Cardinal punter, who is the holder on these. It's a good snap, it's a good hold, it's a good kick, and with 12:56 to go in the 2nd quarter, 10-0 North Central. Let's take another look at this effort to finally get into the end zone, and Zeb Rashid lowers the pad level, and
yeah, he did slip.
Yeah, nothing to be learned from that is there goes the fence. Not doing a great job restraining the members of the shovel crew who are hanging out back there. And if you look at the waving there, the blame here, this was Grant McAtee's idea. Not that McAtee is exactly a seasoned leader who you would expect to know better than to attempt such a thing. He's only a sophomore. But scoring a touchdown today is something to be excited about, given the elements.
Yeah, I'll say.
Cardinals.
They're going to be few and far between.
Cardinals immediately go over to the dual heaters that they have on the sideline. Got some either not dressed or injured Cardinals milling around the sideline as well today. The likes of Donovan McNeil. Saw Caleb Barclay down there. Jerron Williams. A couple other guys are dressed today, even if they are not quote-unquote dressed. Cardinals within that expanded limit of how many guys you can have on the sideline. If they are to advance today, maybe in future weeks we see North Central really kind of go for the big mob of players on the sideline, but understandable that you're not going to have anybody dressed in full pads today that doesn't need to be.
Right. Keep warm. Stay not sick.
Ellison took a couple short steps there, and this ball's going to be fielded at the 32. And taking a big hit in the end there was number 27, Trent Kale. And out to work goes the Hanover offense. They haven't been bad, but they haven't been good enough so far, Grant, to get anything on the scoreboard.
No, I mean, they've been able to move the ball a little bit, but the Cardinal defense has tightened up when they needed to, and that's why we see that 0 so far underneath Panthers on the scoreboard.
Again, 50 yards on 18 plays, just shy of exactly 3 yards per play. And if you do the math, that's not quite good enough to be moving the sticks. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Blake Nation is the running back. Had that big run on the first offensive play of the day. Raudebush, play action, has some time and is flushed. He'll run with it. Raudebush across the 40, slides out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, a pickup of 8 or 9.
Yeah, Medina was doing a really good job playing half a man when he was rushing, but slipped when he tried to get outside to keep contained, which is why Raudebush was able to get the edge.
Having 4 guys run deep and then Raudebush just try to scramble outside the pocket might not be the worst offense today.
No, honestly. I mean, Wesleyan had success with it a couple of weeks ago.
Clear out that space wide and see if you can trust your quarterback to be faster than the defensive end. Again, Raudebush, a guy they really trust with the football. The second-year starter, won the job midway through his freshman season after the incumbent starter got injured. He'll keep it on this one and spins through 1 tackle, not through a second. He does enough, though, to move the sticks for a 1st down. Kyler Green on the tackle for North Central. Good look there at Kyler, a guy who's always really seized his opportunity. He has never been top of the depth chart so far in his 2 seasons as a Cardinal. Last year, though, 14 tackles. This year came into today with 19, and he's gone over 20 on the season now with a couple of stops. Should note for the Cardinals that Kenny Rutherford, the safety who tore his Achilles against Wheaton in 2024, is active today for the first time all season. Big tackle there on the far side. Mari Roby makes the stop after a gain of 6 or 7 on that run.
Got to correct you, 2nd time he was active in playing at Wesleyan.
He was?
Yes.
Didn't know he got in the game.
Yes, he did.
At Wesleyan.
Started.
Haven't seen him yet. Looking for a red number 10. Speaking of that Wesleyan game, shout out to our friend Sam Corbett for filling in for me on that afternoon.
Did a wonderful job, as expected.
A proud alum of the WONC program here at North Central.
Got a few of those around.
They'll be 2nd down and 5 in the end. Raudebush, straight drop back, under pressure, throwing downfield, it's intercepted. Receiver fell down, and in the end, Braden Garrigan said, thank you very much. Scotty Johnson, the intended receiver, and that's just bad luck for the Panthers as the Cardinals get their 2nd turnover of the ball game.
Yeah, when Hanover was here in 2018, there were quite a few interceptions that were had. In fact, 3 by 1 player. Just because situations like that, you know, it's opportunistic and receivers falling down and just kind of some goofy things. Some of the shovel crew got cute and carved an NCC in the snow on the Cardinal sideline.
Very nice. Let's take another look there, and yeah, that's no one's fault. Raudebush tried to just throw the ball up to his big target, number 18, and in the end of the day, Mother Nature again helps cause a turnover. Allen on the carry, bouncing outside, made a man miss, and Sean Allen's got a 1st down.
Really nice, patient run by him. You know, and another thing, too, is you want to, as a running back, kind of elongate your strides and kind of get going into that 2nd and 3rd gear. But really, you got to kind of leave it in 1st. And
we've got a late flag here for some extracurriculars, and we're going to have to see who gets punished here.
I did see a Cardinal go flying late, but I don't know if that was retaliatory or what.
It was Cortez Jones, who we have seen involved in some what we'll call loud conversations a few times.
Yeah, he's spicy.
It's the former defensive tackle in him.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 10.
And
15
they'll call
yards
it in
added
the
to the
end
end of the run.
on number
As
10. That's the defensive
in that
end,
category.
Garen Jenkins, for getting a little too involved with Cortez Jones. Let's take a look here, as this is just a good run by Allen. And see if we can watch at the end of the play, and there it is.
Yeah.
Cortez Jones, he would say he's just finishing his block there. And taking exception was Jenkins. So it's 1st and 10 North Central at the 44 of Hanover. Late sub sees Johnson check in. And now Hanover are given the opportunity to sub if they want. They are not interested in doing so. 1st and 10. Skokna in motion. Skokna, his first reception of the day on the swing pass to the near side. He puts on the brakes once, twice, nowhere to go.
Nah, you can't do that. Not today. Get it, turn your shoulders north and south, and get what you can. You just don't have the traction to be able to do it today, buddy.
Sadiq Pasha, the cornerback, got around his block there. Brian Wall came over to help as well. 2nd down, and either a short 9 or a long 8, depending on how you want to slice it. Trips to the left of the formation here for the Cardinals. Allen remains the running back. He'll get the carry. Sean Allen cuts up field. Allen churning his legs, only picks up maybe 3.
Yeah, but that's the type of run you need. And Allen's got it figured out now. You see his strides. He's not really stretching out with the legs. He's not really looking to get into that 2nd or 3rd gear. He's keeping the steps short. He's keeping his base underneath him, keeping balance, and then putting that forward lean in when you need to.
Shovel crew doing work behind the play to try to keep the end of the field that's not being used right now clear. Zeb Rashid checks into the game at running back. The fullback is Grant McAtee. 3rd and 5. Rashid the carry. Zeb cuts up field, and he didn't get there. Again, going around the outside, a real tough task today. Alex Knapbrick tried to get out there from right guard and lead the blocking. It'll be 4th down and a long 2, and the Cardinals will go for this.
Yeah, I think I saw Garen Jenkins do a really nice job of making some contact in the backfield and bumping Rashid off of his path, which ultimately allowed for the rest of the Hanover defense to get there and make the play.
First 4th down attempt of the day for the Cardinals, 82% on the season. That's a ridiculous number. It's the 3rd best in the country. Rashid is the running back. Wilson will throw. Whistles first. Timeout by Brad Spencer. North Central will talk things over before actually attempting this 4th down.
It's a new era for college sports.
And you wonder if the fact that they snapped that ball to throw it there was a complete decoy on purpose, knowing they would call the timeout.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. And then, you turn and hand it to Rashid. I like it in the reverse better, where you fake a handoff
and then throw the ball.
It.
Yeah, so that would make a little more sense, I suppose.
Here's our NC. Beautiful.
That's Brian Johnson out there going to work, leading things. Brian, in addition to being a member of the athletic department, of course, is also Jalen's father.
Look at this. Beautiful. Look at the precision.
An eye for the artistic for Mr. Johnson. Showing the youngsters who drew the first one how this is done. Doing a quick scan of the scores around the country, Mount Union and John Carroll both well ahead. Barry has retaken the lead against LaGrange, 15-14. UW La Crosse on the board, 9-0 over Hope right now. 4th and 2. Wilson keeps it, flips it to McAtee, who got the 1st down barely.
Well, he was upended too. It was acrobatic.
If it works, it works. Move the chains. 1st down Cardinals.
He's coming off too. He's a little banged up from that.
Elsewhere, Susquehanna has increased their lead over Christopher Newport. They lead 28-7. Eastern 21, Franklin and Marshall 14. Endicott 21, Salisbury 20. Johns Hopkins 20-7 over Springfield. Trinity 14-7 over Hardin Simmons. Alma 7-3 right now over UW Platteville. Bethel 20-7 over Coe. Wartburg 13-7 over Wheaton. DePaul, UW Whitewater tied at 7. And St. John's leads Monmouth 21-3. Wilson back to pass. Slipped and realized that he wasn't going to get the pass off, so he pushes forward. And in the end, might gain a yard.
Yeah, he slipped on that run, too. There was a couple of little slips in there.
And you wonder if at halftime they will be able to clear more than just the lines.
I would assume so. I'm sure they got a method. I bet this was rehearsed.
And you wonder if there are any sort of, those, bobcats with brushes affixed to the front lying around on campus.
Likely.
At the 32.
2nd and 9 for the Cardinals. 6:30 to go in the half. Allen right up the middle, takes those short strides initially, keeps pushing forward and falls forward after a gain of about 5.
I love Cortez Jones. 15 yards downfield, pancaking a guy.
That time, the unfortunate recipient of his efforts was Joey McElroy Jr.
A gain of 4.
3rd and 5 here for the Cardinals. Clock running, play clock under 20. Johnson, Skokna, Rummel all out there at wide receiver. Allen remains the running back. It's a 4-man front on the other side of the line for Hanover. Skokna goes in motion. Wilson, hands up the middle. Allen falls forward again, and he's going to be short of the line to gain. Not by much, though.
By about a yard.
4th and 1.
Yeah, long one.
Depends on which referee they go with. The referee on the near side had him about a half yard further forward than the referee on the far side. And let's see where this ball gets put down.
Short of the line to gain.
It's going to be a longer 4th down than I thought. It's not a great spot as the wipe off the ball again. 4th and 2. Zeb Rashid checks in.
25.
Dawson Trebolo is the fullback. Skokna the motion man. 4th and 2. Right up the middle goes Zeb Rashid. He's got the first down and plows his way through the snow inside the 20. First down on a 2nd consecutive 4th down conversion for North Central.
He plows his way through the snow. I see what you did there.
Come on, got to take advantage of
You have to. You gotta have fun.
metaphors when we can get to them today.
Gotta have fun.
For the sake of everybody involved, I hope this is the snowiest game we see here in the next month.
It's been a snow-free few years here for the most part.
Yeah, we've gotten some what I would call aesthetic flurries. Again,
Right.
that Springfield game last year was a very pretty snowfall that didn't really impact the game. Not that it would have been really different if it looked like this, because Springfield are just running a fullback up the middle every play anyway. Wilson back to throw, nice shoulder fake, and Garrett Wilson will scramble and dive inside the 15-yard line, making something out of nothing, the Cardinal QB.
Yeah, D linemen haven't figured out to shorten the strides yet.
A gain of 4.
Allen checks back in place of Rashid. As we go under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Alex Campbell, Grant Saba with you here on ESPN+. Thank you so much for joining us for this second round, this round of 32 matchup in the NCAA Division III Football Championship.
Given how empty these stands are, I think we got a lot of people tuning in.
The road to the Stag Bowl on January 4th in Canton, Ohio. Blitz from Hanover. Wilson stands in, and he was not on the same page with Rummel. Rummel cut back and out, and Wilson threw a fade.
Some of them want a grounding call, and there was no receiver in the area.
Understandable to ask for it, but also pretty clearly that what happened there was just a mix-up between quarterback and receiver. 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6.
Cardinals are just 1 out of 5 on 3rd down today, but they have converted their last 2 4th downs. Flag, and the play is blown dead. It's going to be either a false start or an illegal formation against the Cardinals. Either way, they'll back up 5 yards.
Put it at 3rd and 10. Not great.
And this is where you ask the question, what is Aiden Ellison's range today in the snow?
Right.
What do they trust him to do? And again, more it's what do they trust
3rd down.
Chip Dose to be able to hold and Nate Boylan to be able to snap. They've been really good so
Yeah,
far
snaps have been clean.
on a
Holds
field
have been
goal and an
clean.
extra point. Again, Ellison holds the longest field goal made in Division III this season at 57 yards. 3rd and 11. Wilson back to throw. Good protection. Wilson to the near side. It's through the hands of Ballard III. I'm not sure if he would have been inbounds anyway had he secured the catch.
You just got to sell it in the conditions. Although with the snow there, it's almost like sand and sand volleyball. You can see where they were.
Sand and sand volleyball, the red clay at the French Open in tennis.
Right.
where you will sometimes see players to prove their point run over and literally point at a scuff in the dirt. 4th and 11, offense is still on the field, so they will go for this. They're 2 for 2 on the drive, but now just 1 out of 6 on 3rd down. Wilson to throw, 3-man rush, Wilson steps up, receiver slipped, and the ball is low and wide to Rummel. It's a turnover on downs. But Grant Sabo, I think that's the right decision, even though the execution did not work out.
Yeah, I mean, also too, you don't want to ask too much out of your kicker because there's a lot of times, especially when it's cold like this and you're slippery, you know, you get some injuries to that plant leg, and you don't want to chance that down the road if the Cardinals happen to get out of here today with a victory. So.
Also, it's strange to say this given the conditions, but the wind is straight out of the south today, and so this kick would have been in the wind as well. We take another look. The throw is low and outside, and I just don't know if you can have any routes like that in the playbook today where you're asking your receivers to make quick changes of direction.
Yeah, no, it's got to be straight ahead stuff.
If anything, maybe a button hook type of play, but nothing, no timing routes.
Slant post corner.
Fly.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. 1st and 10. Can Hanover get anything going on offense? Nation up the middle. Gains maybe 2, maybe 3, as he stood up by the Cardinal defense. 2nd down. Hanover got the ball to begin the game. North Central will receive to begin the 2nd half, which really means this drive is of the utmost importance for the Panthers. Under 3 minutes to go in the half. 2 timeouts remaining for both teams at this stage. Nation motions into the backfield. That run is still the majority of Hanover's yards. Bobble on the snap. Raudebusch got it away as he took a hit, and he completes over the middle. Scotty Johnson makes the catch. It was Eli Rennick who laid the boom on Raudebusch.
They're hustling a little line here, try to get one more off before the 2-minute timeout, maybe 2 more off, depending.
3rd down and 3. Raudebusch looks to the sideline, confirming if they want to try to get this off or not.
Hurry up and wait situation, I guess.
9 seconds. And in the end, they will let the time run off the clock ahead of 3rd down and 3 as we hit the 2-minute timeout here in Naperville. North Central leading 10-0 in an unsurprisingly fast-moving first half, given the amount of time dedicated to the ground games today. Hanover looking to find something to hang their helmets on in the locker room at the end of this first half. Held in check so far.
Yeah, I mean, offensively they have been. Defensively, I would say they've been pretty good combined with the elements.
There's a look at those heaters doing their work.
Even the heaters are covered in snow, can't melt it off fast enough.
That really tells you how quick the snow is coming down, because that metal is dangerously hot.
Yeah, don't touch that.
Snow just continues to fall steadily here in Naperville. We hope you are safe and warm wherever you're joining us from today. Big thank you for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with us, and also adjusting to the noon start times over the last few weeks in preparation for the playoffs. There's the real heroes of today, though. Those guys with the shovels.
Getting it done.
We'll have to see again how much work they're able to do during the half. Snow is really piling up out here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. North Central men's basketball was supposed to play Hope later here next door. That game is canceled.
Oh, really?
But both of their football teams are currently playing.
You don't cancel football games.
3rd and a long 2. Raudebusch empties the backfield and now sends 5 men in motion at once. As Nation is into the backfield. Raudebusch takes the snap, standing in, nowhere to go. Raudebusch steps up and escapes a couple of tackles. He's got the 1st down and more. Raudebusch all the way out to the 45-yard line. Took a big hit from Kyler Green at the end of it, but great work by the Hanover QB.
Yeah, excellent there. I mean, I thought twice he was going to get got, and he escaped. Escaped Sullivan because Sullivan overcommitted, and I thought Rennick was going to be able to maybe strip sack there, and he missed too.
Clock moving, 1:37. Raudebusch back to pass. Raudebusch over the middle. Pennington makes the catch and is wrapped up after a gain of 2. No timeout being taken yet. They have 2 remaining, the Panthers. They'll make a couple of substitutions as Nation and Johnson go out. Rexroth and Williams check into the game. Clock ticking, 1:10 to go. Not in a particular hurry here, Hanover. 2nd and 8, Raudebusch again to throw. Under pressure, chased by J.P. Sullivan, chased by Medina. Raudebusch to the outside, gets to the sideline. That'll stop the clock after a gain of about 2.
Yeah, you're not really able to see the defensive line get after it like they normally do. Angles become very important. You can't rely on athleticism.
Kenny Rutherford checks into the game for the first time today. So good to see him back. Again, tore his Achilles against Wheaton in week 4 of 2024. Has been cleared for contact for a couple of months. It's been a long road back for Rutherford. He's at corner at the top of your screen. Raudebusch standing in, pocket collapsing, and that pass falls incomplete. It's in and out of the hands of DJ Grinter. It's 4th down.
That might be why they weren't taking their timeouts here.
And we've got some afters between Bobby Medina and Josh Williams that the referee had to get involved in breaking up. And the punt team comes on the field for Hanover with 49 seconds left. And North Central, despite the elements, will view 49 seconds as more than enough time.
Maybe
To get in scoring position.
I thought they were going to take a pop or 2 against Wesleyan a couple weeks ago, and they didn't. They needed out and went to halftime, so we'll see what they do here.
Max protection here for the punt crew of Hanover. And that ball almost blocked. Kick is away, and Miles Walton fields it back deep in his own territory, but here goes Miles Walton to the near side. Walton cutting up field and out of bounds. Another good punting effort by Nick Stoner. I think he's made up for that bobble on the first punt, Grant, with how he's executed the last 2.
Well, he's fielding some wild snaps, too.
The punt covered 35 yards.
So the Cardinals 1st and 10 at the 36, the 37 maybe. And let's see how aggressive Brad Spencer and Eric Studeman want to be with the play calling, knowing they'll be getting the ball to begin the second half.
They're running a play. They're going to throw it.
They do have a 50-yard completion today to Jack Rummel. This is a run up the middle, and slipping was Sean Allen. The Cardinals are not going to call timeout.
Yeah, they'll go to halftime here. I don't get that. Take a pop.
Or take a knee if you're not going to
Right,
go for
exactly, exactly.
Everybody awkwardly standing around at the moment, and the clock continues to run. And we will go to halftime here in Naperville. 10-0 the score. North Central leading Hanover. And Grant Sabo, I'm not sure what we expected, but the elements continue to dictate the state of play. The Cardinals are on track to advance once again here with another win, potentially at home in the postseason. But if you're Hanover, a 10-point deficit is not a big problem.
No, I mean, especially given the elements and, one slip or a missed tackle or whatever, and that's a touchdown. So, I mean, this is, I wouldn't say best case scenario for Hanover, but this is an excellent scenario for them. They're coming in here playing the #1 ranked team in the country, and they're only down 10-0 at halftime.
Still a very competitive game, as they tend to be in the Division III football championship playoffs. We will take a break, though, here on ESPN Plus from Naperville. Take a break here for halftime. Second half of the Cardinals and the Panthers is coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us here on ESPN. Welcome back to Naperville. If you were wondering, no, we are not having broadcast issues. We just have an extended halftime here as they are still working on clearing at least as much snow as they can off the field. But if you've been watching with us so far today, you will not be surprised to learn that the weather is not exactly cooperating with trying to clear the field of snow. Alongside Grant Sabo, I'm Alex Campbell. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon of Thanksgiving weekend. We hope you and yours had a lovely holiday, and we thank you for spending some of that weekend with us here. We're the defending national champions. The North Central Cardinals lead the Hanover Panthers 10-0 ahead of, eventually, the second half of play. And Grant, I think in a strange way, both teams will be okay with where this game is at right now. If you're North Central, you feel like you have as much control as you probably reasonably could given the conditions. And if you're Hanover, you said it as we went to break, you're only down 10 to the best team in the country.
Correct. You know, I mean, North Central is, I'm sure, not thrilled being only up 10-0, but, you know, given the elements and everything that's going on today. But as I said, going into halftime as well, Hanover's one slip away from scoring a touchdown here. You know, if somebody misses a tackle, it's very hard to catch people because you really can't extend your strides. You can't get to full speed. So, I mean, there's goofy things that happen in the elements, and Hanover's in a good position here to be able to do something in the second half if they get a couple of breaks to go their way.
They're currently having to dig out the tires of a plow down on the near side, and the wind just came and destroyed the referee review booth.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's been relatively not windy, which is, I'm sure, a blessing for the people who are not outside. Oh, here we go. They got the tractor free here.
Yeah, he is.
Sort of. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, there's kind of this ridge that was created here down at about the 12-yard line at the south end of the stadium. And the snow, again, if you live in the area, you know it's been pretty constant all day today. Started around 5 or 6 this morning and has not let up. Looks like this is about the heaviest it's going to be all day and should be a little lighter after the next hour or so. The problem is the snow is not forecast to stop until after midnight.
Yeah, you know, we talked about the decision not to kick the field goal going into the half. I just got a text from my buddy who's a guy who I played with, a kicker, and he said that in the snow against UW Whitewater when it was 0 degrees out, he almost broke his foot trying to kick the football here. So that's Ben Aguilar.
Shout out to the group of players who just had to push that plow to get it going to try to clear some of this remaining just piles of snow here.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming down as fast as they're clearing it. It's really wild right now.
I do wonder, I mean, I don't know if we're going to set any kind of local records today, because we've seen more snow than this, certainly, but just in terms of the amount of time the snow is coming down. Saw during halftime that about 1,000 flights have been canceled today between O'Hare and Midway airports here in Metro Chicago. Saw that there are some FCS playoff games in the Dakotas that look a lot like this right now.
Well, I'll say, at least as far as the last quarter century in North Central history, I've seen 2 games like this. One was the last time Hanover was here, although not this severe. And the other was 2010 UW Whitewater. The thing with Whitewater was that it snowed like crazy overnight but had stopped, so they cleared the field, and it was really nicely done. And
but there was just snow everywhere.
Correct. It was all around.
Shout out to the grounds crew, though. They are doing what they can. And you can just see the sheer amount of snow these plows are moving is insane. And once you get the snow cleared-ish, you got to make sure everybody can see the lines. As here's some poor soul I'm watching right now realize that he's on about a 2nd or 3rd yard line instead of an actual line. And we are going to keep playing football here at some point. There's Garrett Wilson trying to keep himself warm, the North Central quarterback. Wilson so far today, 4 of 8 passing for 64 yards and 3 rushes for 13. He is certainly not used to this weather, the Oklahoma native. Gonna say, unless he's gone skiing on vacation, this is probably the most snow he's ever seen.
The most, I would say, probably. Yeah, it's warmer in Oklahoma for sure, especially in the summertime. I know they kind of cook down there. I've got a buddy down there who runs a jiu-jitsu school in Seminole, Oklahoma. And he said that it's usually unseasonably warm. I mean, I guess seasonably for them, but it gets warm there.
Meanwhile, we've got a couple Georgia natives on this Hanover team who are seeing snow for the first time today.
Welcome.
Which is something we saw last year with Springfield as well when they came here. As there's Sean Allen trying to keep his legs moving as much as he possibly can.
Doesn't really look like he's getting after it on that bike so much.
The coat's kind of in the way. Enough of that.
They're so close to getting this cleared. They've been working on that 110 yards for forever, though.
Again, it is coming down as fast as they're clearing it. Look at all these brave souls braving the elements today. If you're watching at home with us, though, I would not feel bad about the decision you have made.
No, I highly recommend.
to not be one of these folks.
So there's a quality broadcast if you pop the $15 for ESPN Plus.
But yeah, we welcome you whether you're watching within a mile of the stadium or anywhere around the country. I think we are slowly inching towards kickoff in what has been a nearly half-hour halftime.
Yeah.
Here in Naperville.
Just doing everything they can to keep it clear.
And we've got a few discussions going on with captains and various other officials. Saw Demir Asheru, who we didn't see take any snaps in the first half. Saw him practicing with his footing and doing some practice running along the sidelines.
Says shorten them strides.
Braden Garrigan, Miles Walton among those, just trying to test it. And Calvin Lavery, the third-string quarterback, going for a run as well. And, hey, some kids had the thought to bring some sleds along, although actually that's not even fans. They're outside.
No, yeah, that's outside the stadium. They're just sledding. Those are neighborhood kids.
Good work by our camera crew getting that. Nice action shot there. Again, we hope you are safe and warm as the referees are all huddled up here. And this referee huddle has been going on long enough here that I'm moderately concerned about the topic.
No, it's clear. What are they going to do?
Also, if we can get a picture on, we have Brock Nunez, the left guard, just sitting on a mountain of snow on the Cardinal sideline. Just minding his own business, and it's maybe the funniest thing I've seen during halftime. Oh, there's a brave soul. That's number 55. Who is that? It's not.
Yeah, you're going to have to dig into the notes here.
That's Gustav Tosterd with the goggles on there and the short sleeves, not dressed today, but braving the elements anyway.
Not how I'd play it.
There's Brock. Just chilling.
Vibing.
Brock, second team All-CCIW this year, native of Bellevue, Ohio.
Join us.
Offering a seat to Tyson Kramer, the left tackle.
Kramer going to join him. You know what? I think I will.
Can we get the entire offensive? And yep, Brock knew that was coming, and that's the end of that.
Outstanding. All right, we ready here? Or are they going to try and clear that end zone? They seriously been working on this 110 yards for like 15 minutes.
The entire Cardinals team is getting lined up here at the 45. I'm not sure why.
Lamb of God concert. They're going to do Wall of Death.
Look out. And in other issues, that tractor is now fully stuck on the far side of the field. The good news is off the field.
Yeah, but close enough to where you can't leave it there.
No. This is a bit of a circus. Again, and it's no one's fault that it's a bit of a circus.
No. I mean, you don't buy equipment necessarily to prepare for quite this.
And I feel like these two smaller plows off to our right, I feel like they've done the entire field twice at this point.
Yeah, and I feel like they're just kind of like pushing the same snow around.
Okay, there's that tractor moving, and this should be his final pass, so let's get him out of here.
Maybe, unless they try and clear that end zone.
I don't know, I kind of like the idea that anybody in the end zone basically just dives into a big pile of snow.
Unless you're trying to run a route back there.
Go through a rundown of the scores around the country again, because
sounds like a great idea.
Let's see what else is going on. We have three finals, from the Eastern time zone. Mount Union 49-7 over Muhlenberg. They'll take on John Carroll, former conference rivals. John Carroll beating Randolph-Macon 35-6. And the game of import to this matchup, UW La Crosse 9, Hope 7, in a game that was about as big of a barn burner as this one. Barry leads LaGrange 18-14, 2 minutes to go in that one. Susquehanna 42, Christopher Newport 28, 2 minutes to go there. Seconds to go, I don't know who's got the ball, but Eastern 28, Franklin and Marshall 24, under a minute to go. Another good game, 3:30 to go. Salisbury 35, Endicott 28. Final from Baltimore, Johns Hopkins 34, Springfield 14. Midway through the third quarter, Trinity 20, Hardin-Simmons 17. Midway through the third quarter, Platteville 10, almost 7. You can kind of get a sense of which of these games are snow impacted and which ones aren't. Bethel 30, Co 7 at the half. That game's getting ugly in a hurry. Wartburg 16, Wheaton 7 at the half. Whitewater 14, DePaul 10 early third quarter. St. John's 21, Monmouth 9 at the half. UW River Falls 34-7 over Chapman at the half. That UW River Falls looked at the forecast and laughed, given the offense they've had this season. That really the only squad in the country that keeps up with North Central in terms of the points they put on the board. And they're going to keep trying to clear this end zone while the smaller Plovs off to the right go to work.
They're still staying on that one little area over there. The end zone's close to being done, though. Maybe 3 more passes.
Who is this poor soul? We've got on screen now.
Oh,
dear. Where is this poor soul?
I don't know.
In his bright green shoes. They're going to back up and show us where
Is
he
that
is.
a shoe, or is that he's got a high-vis vest wrapped around his feet for whatever reason?
That man is sitting all alone in the northeast
I see
corner.
down there. Just making sure nobody goes onto the field on guard duty.
He drew the short straw today. Please sit here and don't move.
I mean, they can't make you sit there. You can stand up and do jumping jacks if you want to. It's going to be buried in snow here momentarily.
Hey, we're about to be able to read the word Cardinals in the end zone at
Hey.
the south end of the field. The north end, not so much.
Not so much.
North end, though, is covered in less snow than the south end was a few minutes ago.
I think we're about in business here. Like I said, I think 2 more passes from this little plow over here, and they're going to call it good.
And the referee now running over to talk to Brad Spencer, doing some pointing. Yeah, because if you look here on screen, we've got just these little piles of snow that are a problem.
Right.
Yeah, you got the kickoff team. They're ready to go. The kick return team for the Cardinals, waiting for their instructions. Looks like it'll be Ballard the third and Walton to return the kick. Zeb Rashid hanging around as well. Maybe that's the plan, a kick return in these conditions. Do you try to get Zeb the ball and just form a wall in front of him? Danny Nuccio is going to attempt the bike. And now the kick return team.
Check out the icicles on the lights.
Oh, geez, they're trotting out here. But there's still a whole bunch of snow on the north half of the field.
Well, they cleared that once. I think that's as good as it's getting. As long as they can get those piles out.
Yeah, again, we just have this kind of strange pile that is stuck here at like the 35-yard line.
They've been working on it for like 20 minutes.
I'm not sure these kids are moving much snow. I think they're kind of just pushing it around.
Well, yeah, they're trying to like bust up the
pieces.
Right.
We're going to go here, though. I don't know if anybody's told the guys with shovels.
Get off the field.
Okay. And somebody put a random line down the middle of the field on the south end for some reason.
No, it's the hash marks.
Oh, they only shoveled one of them.
Well, that's all they had time for.
We are making it up as we go here in Naperville. Again, we thank you for being so patient during halftime here. We can kind of see where stuff is. And from here, we'll figure it out, and we'll entrust the crew down there Although we still have this tractor that is kind of stuck behind the end zone. And the referee basically telling him, you can't be here.
Yep, beat it. We're about to play football.
No, oh boy.
He's going to have to get off the field in a very specific way, I think, so he doesn't get stuck.
Does anybody, I don't know if anybody over to our right realizes this is happening, because we've got a ball on the tee and a kicker ready to kick. And a tractor absolutely parked in the end zone.
Instead of the Stanford band play, you're going to have the North Central tractor play.
Be a good blocker on a day like today, although not if he can't get his footing either. This is something. It might be an edit I have to do later, just if we can get film of the entirety of halftime and just put it up to like 10x and put the Benny Hill music under it.
That's what I'm saying.
And now he waves. Okay, we are about ready to go here, I think, to play more football or something approximating football, given all the snow that is out there right now. There's a whistle. Ready to send this deep is Jonathan Talley. Talley did not get this ball to go very far, and this ball will bounce and roll and roll. Did it go out of bounds or not? Miles Walton picked it up.
I think he was looking for it to go out of bounds.
And we have a late,
we got extracurriculars.
We have a very late flag here. And North Central's indicating it's going to be against the kicking team. Number 45, Gavin Rand of Hanover, got involved with you-know-who, Cortez Jones. Seems to always be involved in these things. And where will this ball be? Well, everybody's already moving upfield. Ball went out of bounds at the 25, or that's where Walton picked it up. Now we're walking the other way.
It's on the Cardinals?
They're
waving it off?
They're going to pick up the flag. So the flag's been picked up. Ball will go back where we thought it was going to go, which is the 25-yard line, where the Cardinals will begin the second half.
If he touched it, player touched the ball inbound, and then he touched out of bounds. There should be 2 seconds off the clock. Make it 14:58, please.
So just confirming that Walton did pick the ball up inbounds.
It didn't roll out of bounds. The snow stopped it.
So no penalty.
First and 10 for the Cardinals.
First and 10 Cardinals. Garrett Wilson is at quarterback. Sean Allen on his right hip. Rummel and Skokna split out wide left. Wilson to throw on first down. Over the middle, Skokna makes the catch. Thomas Skokna stays in bounds. Skokna
It's a flag.
got the first down, and a very late flag, and it got thrown down the line towards Isaac Banker.
Might be a hold.
Banker was out of bounds. And there's some confusion here.
44, 15 yards. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
They're going to call offensive pass interference on Dawson Trebolo. That's a 15-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. Watch 44.
Is this a rub route?
If he's ever in view.
I don't know. I didn't see anybody near anybody.
And then, yeah, that flag comes down here and gets thrown into the Cardinal bench, basically.
I don't know. I didn't see.
Let's watch again. You watch 44 here. And, yeah, so what they're calling,
He's just making contact.
Yeah, he goes downfield and immediately engages as if he's blocking. You cannot do that. And that's going to get the flag. Now, I don't know why the flag was thrown from where and to where it ended up, but the call is correct. First and 23 for the Cardinals, back at their own 12.
Whoop.
Allen slips, gets back up, and got to remember in college, you don't have to wait to be touched there. That's automatically a downed ball and a loss of 3.
Inauspicious start to the Cardinals' second half here.
It's going to be a loss of 5 in the end. Second and 27. Yeah, this is not where you want to be right now, especially because if you are not able to move the ball forward, you're going to have to punt from your own end zone.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, today is not conducive to long yardage plays either. And if you're trying to pick up 27 yards.
First down is at the 35-yard line. The Cardinals all the way back now at their own 8. Wilson, another short crossing route to Skokna. Skokna spun down right along the boundary line after a gain of maybe 6.
Run out of bounds by George Martin.
3rd and 21
A gain of 6.
is upcoming.
Got to try and throw it down the field, see if you can get Rummel behind everybody again.
Cardinals are 1 out of 6 on 3rd down. The question is, do you have time to get Wilson to set his feet and drop back?
And 21.
If I'm Hanover, I'd bring a lot of pressure here.
Yes.
Instead, they will rush just 3. Wilson with time. Wilson over the middle, sliding to make the catch is Grant McAtee. He is well short of a first down, but it's a big pickup on the play of about 14 or 15 yards.
A gain of 16.
I mean, you can see where he slid down. Why are they marking it a yard short of that?
And the move here is to punt the football.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's a good job by the Cardinal offense to pick up a chunk of yardage and just allow Chip Dose to be a little less nervous about this. Oh, no, wait, here comes the offense. And at the Cardinals, do they have 11 guys out there?
I think they have to allow them time to substitute.
Well, I think they got what they wanted. Was Hanover just burned a timeout, and the Cardinals are going to punt anyway. So some mind games from Brad Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a dogfight. You gotta do your thing.
At least I assume we're still going to see them punt here.
Who knows? I would.
Yeah, I'd kick this. Maybe you have, if you really don't think you could get anything on the ball, whichever of your quarterbacks is most comfortable punting the football, maybe you do a Luke Lane in special here and just boot this ball from the quarterback position?
Could. I was a big fan. Very effective. Although you're not going to get a good roll on it.
Punt team is on the field with the base defense mostly of Hanover out there, so this is going to be interesting. The good news here, if you're Chip Dose, is it means I don't think you're going to see much of a rush. Hanover certainly prepared for a fake. No fake happens, and this ball will roll and take a very North Central friendly bounce. It's scooped up, and a knee went down, so the play is over as Kirby and Shelby never got going. Hanover won a penalty for a late tackle after he was ruled down.
North Central thinks that he fumbled.
But again, that happened after the fact.
Yeah, way after. Yeah, he was down for sure.
So it's one of those silly things as you'd expect players in general to know that rule better.
Well, but you got to try and sell it.
I know we all watch a lot of NFL football, but all levels of college, that is how that works. Your knee hits the ground, the play is over.
The punt traveled 44 yards.
44 yards in the end on the punt from Dose, which, given the circumstances, is excellent. Because if the snow doesn't get any better, this is just going to turn into a field position battle. First down for Hanover. Blake Nation in the backfield next to Ian Raudebush. Raudebush in that first half ran 11 times for 18 yards, and he threw 6 of 11 for 28 yards and a pick. On first down, it's Nation going backwards. Clean around the edge came number 92, J.P. Sullivan on a stunt.
Yeah, I don't think he was touched. He was into the backfield pretty much immediately.
I assumed this was Medina who made the tackle, given where it came from, but let's watch this again.
No, he
right up the middle.
Yeah, it was 3. It was B gap. Coming from 3 technique.
So it's Hanover's turn to go backwards as Raudebush shouts instructions to his teammates. Second down and 13. Raudebush to throw over the middle, completes. Gritzer is planted, ball comes out.
Yeah, I think it came out when he hit the ground. What a hit. Oh, my goodness.
Danny Nuccio. And I think the snow probably made this a lot less unpleasant for Gritzer than it would have been ordinarily. Let's watch this again.
Well, the thing is, when you catch the ball and you're in bad traction like this, a lot of times you got to stay high, or you are staying high. You're not really dropping your center of gravity. You drop your center of gravity to change direction. If you're just running straight, a lot of times you stay high, and that's the second time we've seen a hit like that where people got upended. I think it was Grant McAtee earlier got sent end over end as well. It's just a factor of the conditions again.
As you saw in the replay, that ball was very secure. Cardinals bring a blitz. Raudebush is in trouble. Raudebush running around. Still Raudebush, nowhere to go, and he's dropped for a big loss. Danny Nuccio on the sack.
Well, he was like a swarm of hornets around him. Nobody could quite get to him until the very end there.
And now you got to be really careful if you're Hanover on this punt. Take another look. Raudebush initially does well to avoid some pressure, and then just it's a scramble drill at this point. Nuccio brings him down. And 4 players now are trying to clear out a spot for Nick Stoner to take this punt.
Hopefully for their sake they could get the snap back to him. It's not going to matter.
He fumbled the first one, recovered a bad snap on the second, and the third one went off without a hitch. This one is almost blocked, shanked a little bit as it goes out of bounds. Cardinals will have good field position at about the 30-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. The ideal drive now, Grant, for the Cardinals would be to score a touchdown by taking as much time to do so as possible.
Yep, just send your running backs up the middle. Steady dose Allen and Rashid.
They're both on the field.
Great.
To begin,
excellent news.
to begin this drive.
Music to my ears.
Nope, never mind.
Oh, Allen's coming off, okay.
First and 10 at the 31. At least that's what Jim Godo in the press box to the right of us is saying. I can't tell you where this ball is. Skokna gets the pitch, has some blockers, and is going backwards. Well, now he's still on his feet. Oh, boy. Thomas Skokna the other way. Skokna's got no one in front of him, and it's a crazy touchdown for the Cardinals.
Did you see Garrett Wilson throw that block to spring him, too?
I don't know how much contact Garrett made, but he
it was enough to slow him down. There was a guy that could have made that play, and Garrett Wilson got in his way.
Well, we knew we'd see some weird stuff today. What a ridiculous play. Thomas Skokna, I think on a drier day there, Grant Saba was dead to right, 6 or 7 yards in the backfield.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I've been saying all day you can't change directions. And Thomas Skokna said, well, watch me.
I will stop and do a big loop the other way. Touchdown for Skokna on what was supposed to be a jet sweep and turned into whatever that was.
Reverse. Self-reverse.
31 yards on the run. And the Cardinals extend their lead. Ellison is on for the extra point. Out of the hold of Dose. And that unit continues to do excellently today. 17-0 Cardinals with 10:03 to go. Let's take another look at this. So it's a handoff to Skokna.
Yeah. Somebody missed the block there.
And you're going to see Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, just got a piece of that guy.
And there goes Skokna.
He was able to elongate his strides too. Reverse directions and hit the afterburners.
Yeah, you got to start the stride short until you get up to speed.
Right.
And then you're going to see here Golden, the right guard somewhere in there, blocked a guy 15 yards back. Tyson Kramer, the left tackle, ends up as the lead blocker on the play. You'll take points however you can get them today, and that time it's the nation's leader in touchdown receptions who gets it done for the Cardinals.
Didn't see. Did he hand that, or was that like a little shovel push pass?
I don't know what they're going to count it as.
That would be a receiving touchdown if.
It wasn't really a pitch. It was kind of just a handoff.
Was it a handoff?
In front of him? So I would have scored it as a run, personally, but that's not my decision. Barry has defeated LaGrange 18-14. That's gone final. Eastern final score 28-24 over Franklin and Marshall. Salisbury winners over Endicott 35-28.
Oh, Salisbury came back and won it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Trinity and Hardin Simmons are in a shootout, 27-24 with 12 minutes to go in that game. Platteville 17, almost 7. Bethel 30, Co 7. Wheaton have gotten on the board in the second half. 16-14, they trail Wartburg. As Ellison boots this ball deep. And it's fielded by Rexroth inside his own 10. See an actual return here as Rexroth is tripped up. At about the 23-24 yard line, I think is where that is. And back out comes the Hanover offense looking to get anything going. DePaul and Whitewater tied at 17 heading to the fourth. St. John's 28, Monmouth 9. And midway through the third, UW River Falls continues to lead 34-7 over Chapman. Barry hanging on over LaGrange, of course, means the nation's leading rusher, Monty Quinn, remains in the playoffs. Which I think, neutral D3 football fans will be happy that he gets to.
Oh, yeah, he's fun to watch. Yeah.
2 running back set here to begin this drive for Hanover. 1st and 10. And around to the near side. This is Shelby trying to find the edge and did pretty well in the end. Good forward progress for a gain of 7 or 8.
I want to highlight number 68. That's Bryce Shepard.
It's the left tackle.
Absolutely doing work down there. Tenacious blocking. Watch him on Eli Rennick here. Beautiful.
Rennick, another one of those first-team all-conference inclusions.
Beautiful work.
Transfer from Wittenberg. 2nd and 3 for Hanover. Josh Williams is the running back. Williams gets the carry up the middle, pushing, looking for first down yardage. He's got it. And Hanover able to move the chains. Nine minutes to go here in the 3rd. And Hanover just looking for any answers right now. Trying to just keep moving forward against this North Central defense. Hanover 145 yards for the game entering this drive. Raudebush rolling. Nobody there. Raudebush is sacked.
Coverage sack. Beautiful job by the secondary.
He really, really wanted to get that ball to Scotty Johnson, but Danny Nuccio was keeping just enough of an eye on him to prevent the throw from coming. Meanwhile, not a good sign here for the Cardinals as Rennick is coming out of the game with his right arm hanging kind of limp next to his body. Tucker Johnson subs in. And Troy Cashell's gone in as well, though I don't think they need him because Johnson already made the sub. They're going to bring Medina out of the game as well. After the play was over, they're going to call an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Was it a taunt? I didn't see anything.
I think they called it on Braden Garrigan. I'm not sure what for, though.
Has he said something?
Or maybe
it wipes out that nice sack.
Or maybe, let's see what happens here at the end. So everybody's okay. 68 steps over a guy. And then we're going to have some discussion.
Yeah, they're just talking. His mouth got him in trouble.
1st and 10. Good burst there. Right tackle Josh Williams on the run. And Hanover Grant moving the ball a bit here.
Yeah, I mean, good hard run there, too, by Williams.
Seven yards on the carry, 2nd and 3. Williams remains in the backfield. Gets another carry back up the middle. Williams pushing forward. And he's got another first down for the Panthers.
Well, he's running hard. He's hyped.
Williams, the freshman from Madison, Alabama. One of those guys maybe seeing his first snow today.
He's running hard in it.
Maybe just not thinking about it too much.
I don't know. So far, looking better than Nation has.
We have not seen Don Dunning today, the starter for a lot of the year at halfback. He did get back into the game a little last week after having missed the last 3 games of the regular season, but was listed as questionable going into today's game and has not featured. 1st and 10, another high snap. Raudebush to throw over the middle, incomplete.
Nearly picked, too.
And we've got some more jawing between the lines. Bryce Shepard, the left tackle, continues to have a lot to say to the likes of Sullivan and co. They've got a couple backup guys in there. Graham White and Tucker Johnson both in on the line as Philip Carlton Jr. checks in to replace Ethan Groark. Carlton, the junior from Plainfield. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Johnson, the motion man. Raudebush is going to keep it for himself. It was a good choice, and he's got some space. First down and more. Raudebush all the way down to the 30-yard line, roughly.
Had to math that one out, too.
Yes, I did. Can't see the numbers out here, but what a great decision here in the backfield. Raudebush, and then he shows his speed.
Nice ball fake, too. I like Williams back there. I think he looks great.
Mm-hmm.
A gain of
17 yards on the QB keeper. First down and 10.
First and 10 at the 30.
Ball right on the 30-yard line. Williams up the middle again. Pushes forward for
Josh Williams,
3 or 4.
tackled by Eli Rennick.
Eventually the referees just blow that dead.
Good to see Rennick back in there.
Maverick Goldie checks in as well, replacing White. Hadn't seen much of Grant White the last couple of weeks. Good to see him out there.
A gain of 4.
Rutherford and Groark, check out. Second and 6.
Second and 6.
Under 5.5 to go here in the third quarter. Trips to the left for Raudebush. High snap, Raudebush keeps and just pushes forward. Carlton got into the hole there to meet him, and it's a gain of 2 or 3 for the QB, brings up third down.
Yeah, they're 4-down territory here, too.
Both teams today, Grant, are 1 out of 7 on third down.
Wow.
This will be third down and 4. As the snow just will not let up here in Naperville.
Third and 4 at the 24.
Trips to the left of the line for Raudebush. Josh Williams remains the running back. Raudebush, QB keeper, nowhere to go, J.P. Sullivan.
Tackled for a loss by
Yeah, I think he slipped and tried to turn back, and Mr. Sullivan was there to meet him.
And if there's one guy you want to block if you're an opposing offensive line, it's Big 92, and nobody did.
Yeah, he tried to come back into Sullivan. Ill-advised.
Good luck with that. And now they kind of don't have a choice. They have to go for this. Fourth down and 8.
fourth down. 8 yards to go at the 28.
1 out of 3 on fourth down today are the Panthers. 2 wide each side. Williams, the running back. Play clock at 1, and timeout called by Hanover.
Yeah, they weren't going to get that off.
It's their second charge timeout of the second half.
Probably good to slow this down and talk about it anyway, really. They've had relatively good success on fourth down and even in some longer situations. I would expect some sort of short crossing route here. They've had a lot of success with that.
AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola.
Even trying to get like we talked about in the first half, if you can get receivers running longer routes, maybe you can try to let Raudebush take this himself. That's been the most consistent source of their offense today, if there has been one at all.
LG, Marriott, Pizza Hut, Reese's, Ritz, Samsung.
A reminder that the winner of this game will
and Wendy's.
advance to next weekend, and once again it'll be a Saturday noon local time kickoff. For both of these teams, that would be the Central Time Zone. Hanover just barely in the Central Time Zone.
Are they? And it'll be against La Crosse.
Yes, UW La Crosse is the opponent. If North Central wins, that game's here. If La Crosse wins, if Hanover wins, that game's at La Crosse. And referees are going to talk something over. Groark, Rutherford, Roby, Daniel, Garrigan, Green, all in the game in the defensive backfield. And I'm not sure what the topic of discussion could be here. The officials break the huddle.
We need to confirm the timeouts left. Hanover has 1 timeout left. North Central has 3.
So the scoreboard's correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Referee didn't need to tell us all of that, but I appreciate
Yeah,
when
no,
they
that's great.
communicate. 4th and 8. Scotty Johnson goes in motion. Big play for Ian Raudebush and the Panthers. Cardinals bring a blitz. Raudebush with time, stands in, delivers over the middle. That ball is incomplete. It's knocked away by Kenny Rutherford.
Boy, and Rutherford doing all the work there. Oh, another flag coming in. Interesting. It's going to be after the play.
And so now,
unless it's a very, very, very late pass interference call, but I don't think so.
There is a flag on the field.
this looked like clean coverage from Rutherford. So let's see what the officials decide to say here. Cardinals defense looks confused. We saw a flag like this picked up earlier. I don't know if maybe this had to do with a hand gesture that Rutherford was making toward his teammates on the bench. I couldn't really see what it was, but he was like pointing at something on his hip.
Play resulted in a turnover and downs. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 10, 15 yards from the dead ball spot. It'll be first down.
It must have been what you saw, and the refs didn't like it.
So it is a turnover on downs. Let's see if let's watch at the end of the play. Rutherford is going to break this pass up. He doesn't direct anything toward a Hanover player. This is just something he's doing with his teammates. So the ball's incomplete. He gets up, and he shows off a tattoo maybe, or something.
I don't know. They didn't like it, whatever it was.
Tattoo, scar, something. He's showing off there.
Showing off he's got some guts? I don't know.
Or just, that he's got a really good ab routine.
I don't know. The guy behind him lifted his shirt, too, in the same way. I'm not sure.
So, well, whatever that celebration was, it is now officially out of rotation. So the Cardinals lose 15 yards on a dead ball foul after the play was over, and it backs them up to the 14-yard line. Garrett Wilson fakes to Zeb Rashid and has a wide-open Grant McAtee. He's got space, and he's got Rummel blocking. McAtee across midfield and brought down inside Hanover territory. Great play there by the Cardinals. There is a Hanover player down, though, behind the play. That is Sadiq Pasha on the turf as we take another look.
Let's see what happens here. Oh, I think he gets kicked. Yeah.
Pasha he was being blocked downfield by Rummel, and as he shook the block off, I think either McAtee or a teammate, somebody running by him, I think gets him in the head here. Let's take another look. He's the guy getting blocked there, and
Oh yeah.
Dives in there as McAtee is going by, just kind of a freight train. And hopefully Pasha's all right, the junior from Georgia.
I think it got dinged a little bit.
From Hephzibah, Georgia.
You need more vowels.
4 interceptions for him this year. Second year in a row he's had 4 picks. First team all-conference inclusion. And I think they're just trying to make sure he's all right, because this is one of those incidental but nasty collisions if you get somebody's knee moving at full speed hitting you in the head.
Right.
Good thing, though, is there to see he's moving his arms and legs.
Yeah, he's definitely in the world of consciousness.
So a big play, though, by the Cardinals to Grant McAtee, a guy who's really emerged this season, Grant, in a variety of roles as they're going to help Pasha to his feet. And he'll move to the sideline. Good to see that he's
jogging off. Great.
All right. I think they're going to tell him, you can't go back in that huddle right now, but don't go too far. Subbing into the game on defense there is Marjon Pickett, junior from Louisville, Kentucky, at the cornerback position. So there's Garrett Wilson and Zeb Rashid preparing for 1st and 10 North Central at the 46-yard line of Hanover. Wilson back to throw. A lot of time. Wilson looking long for Thomas Skokna. Touchdown! The sort of throw that Garrett Wilson's had all season finally pays off for Thomas Skokna. He slides into home and slides into a score for the Cardinals. The nation's leading touchdown receiver strikes again.
Yeah, he was just a stride or two behind everybody, and it was a money throw from Wilson. Had a nice little bit of air underneath it. Easy pitch and catch for those two.
That is more like what Cardinals fans are used to seeing this offense do. And it was something you and I talked about yesterday, having both watched some film and had conversations with the coaches, this Hanover secondary, often to their benefit, is so aggressive. The flip side of that is if you get a little too aggressive and you get caught leaning forward, that happens.
Exactly.
Extra point is up. Extra point is good. Again, Chip Dose putting on a holding clinic today. The Cardinal punter has not let anything slip as we take another look at this rainbow throw for a touchdown. Garrett Wilson, all the time in the world, and number 7 is on the other end of it.
Yeah, I want to shout out Nate Boylan, too, because the snaps have been on the money, and that is very, very difficult in these conditions.
If I know the way that these Cardinals players and coaches operate, I bet those two were out here before anybody today in the snow.
Yep.
Just over and over again doing those snaps. Skokna, though, gets another touchdown. Let's see if he was credited for a receiving touchdown or a rushing one earlier. He was credited as a receiver earlier, so that's 2 more for him. And that is now a total of 22 touchdown receptions on the season for Thomas Skokna.
Impressive.
24-0 North Central leads here, 3:18 to go in the third. And a pretty perfectly executed third quarter so far or by the Cardinals. This has been the case all season, Grant. They're good all the time. They are world-beating in the third quarter.
Yes.
See if we've got any more scores to tell you about. Johns Hopkins, this has gone final. They beat Springfield 34-14. As Ellison kicks it away, everybody else still in progress. Rexroth fielding again near the sideline at about his own 6. Rexroth up the far side and out of bounds.
And I was wondering what they were doing with the shovels in the middle of the field.
Well, we've got a late flag here. The referee on the near side, who was 40 yards from anybody involved in the play, just threw a flag in at the end, and let's see what we have here. I certainly didn't see anything.
I wasn't looking. I was looking at, they cleared Ellison's approach. That's what that was.
And we will hear from referee Robert Foss again.
There's no foul on the play for a block below the waist. Players slipped, fell down.
Fair enough.
Yep, thank you for the explanation, and also maybe, especially on the dates of the snowy, maybe of like the 7 officials out there, the guy who was farthest of the 7 from the play doesn't have the best view, but I digress. 1st and 10 at time to count lines again. They're on 24.
24-yard line. There it is.
Where's the count from Sesame Street? He'd be very useful today. Oh, and now, wait a minute. Now they're going to, okay, the ball is being moved, and 22, 23, something like that.
1st and 10 at the 23.
Thanks, Jim Godo.
5 wide receivers. Raudebush, QB keeper, looking for somewhere, anywhere to go. Eventually, Eli Rennick wrapped him up, but didn't look like much, but it gains 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it took him a little while to get going, and but there was no red jerseys there.
I don't really see any reason not to run that on every play at this point if you're Hanover.
Sure.
Go 5 wide, have Raudebush right up the middle, and if North Central overcommits, somebody's open. Yes, I do realize this game is not that simple. Raudebush looking to the far side. That throw was never getting to Rexroth. Braden Garrigan laid out for it anyway, incomplete. Brings up 3rd down. St. John's, UW River Falls, they're pulling away in their respective games. DePaul leading 23-17 over UW Whitewater. That's been a really good back and forth game all day.
I think the D3 crew is split on that one.
Wartburg continues to lead Wheaton. That's 16-14 as the 4th quarter begins. 3rd and 4.
Play clock winding down here.
Yeah, 3 on the play clock. They only got 1 timeout left in the game. That looked like some early movement along the line. Anyway, throw over the middle is complete to Scotty Johnson for a first down. Janiak made the tackle.
Yeah, they're having luck with their short crossers.
Johnson's had a pretty solid day. It's his third reception, over 20 yards, to lead the Panthers. First and 10 at the 45. Raudebush to throw, able to step up and complete to Rex Rote. And the combo of Janiak and Nuccio makes the stop on Clark Rexroth, the sophomore from Munfordville, Kentucky. And 22 receptions on the year coming into today. Six-yard gain, second down and 4. Under a minute 20 to go here in the third quarter. Hanover up against the wall here, need a drive that produces points. Cardinals bring a blitz, and Raudebush slips anyway to lose 2 or 3.
I'm waiting for them to send one over his head. It's been so close a few times here.
Again, you've got a freshman center, probably doesn't have a lot of experience with these kind of conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably doesn't help to have J.P. Sullivan standing over you for every one of these snaps also.
Also that.
So it'll be third and, call it a long 5, I think, in the end here. 2 running back set.
3rd and 5 at the 45.
Raudebush to throw, max protect. Raudebush dropping further and further. Raudebush has room, and I don't know why he didn't run for the first down as the pass is dropped by Johnson.
Oh my goodness.
Raudebush had a good 15 yards of open space in front of him. He could have trotted for a first down, threw it instead, and his go-to target on the day, Johnson, just drops this. And why not run this?
I have no idea.
Nuccio's
trying to play monkey in the middle.
Nuccio's in the area, but I don't think he was going to cut down the angle in time. Now you're in a position you've got to go for it on 4th down.
Boy, it is snowing harder. It just picked up.
And the wind has picked up as well. Again,
Yeah.
it sounds strange. The wind is coming straight out of the south.
Into the face of the offense.
4th and 5, and flags.
There is a flag on the field.
I think we might have a snap infraction, and it's awkward. Joshua Jones, the center, is just standing there all alone right now as the rest of his teammates have already backed up.
Speaking of the wind picking up, that replay tent just blew over again.
Ball start. Offense, number 63, 5 yards, 4th down.
They'll end up calling this on the right tackle. That's Owen Cruz. And now 4th and 5 becomes 4th and 10, and not sure this changes anything other than makes this conversion attempt harder. They are going to punt the football, and I don't personally love that call.
Why would you do that? At this point in the game, you got to make something happen. You're conceding defeat with a punt here.
Yeah, we are now into the portion of the game where margin of victory doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Punting has been a bit of an adventure today for Hanover. Nick Stoner on for the 5th time. Bobbled it, and it's blocked. Jalen Johnson scoops it up. Jalen Johnson stays on his feet. And for the 2nd time this season, Jalen Johnson blocks and scores on the same punt.
Wow. It was almost identical to his previous effort. And that's his second touchdown this season, both of them off of punts that he himself blocked.
He does have one receiving touchdown.
Oh, yeah, one, okay.
At Carroll. So he hasn't caught a pass for a touchdown here, but he did block a punt in that absurd Augustana game earlier this season that saw, I believe, 3 special teams touchdowns. Jalen Johnson's got a bit of a specialty, though, in his first year as a Cardinal, the former NIU Husky. We saw his father put in work with the snow shovel earlier.
We talked about carving that NCC into the snow. That was his dad.
So certainly the Johnson family are having fun with the conditions today. Aiden Elson is on for the extra point. And Grant Sabo, what did I say a few minutes ago about the Cardinals dominating the third quarter of football games?
Yep.
That is 21-zip in the third for the Cardinals. Let's take another look at Johnson with the block. Didn't even have to jump. That was going to hit him in the knee if he didn't do anything else. And then
shouldn't jump for a punt. What he did was perfect technique. You run and put both paws out in front. You run off to the side so that you don't run into the guy. It was a really beautiful job.
And then he got thrown into the snow by Joey Gelada and Philip Carlton.
The punter trying to bring him down unsuccessfully.
It's also a benefit of being 6'5" and 210 pounds in
he is,
Johnson's case.
Quite athletic. They're doing it again. You see they cleared Ellison's approach for the kickoff. Reminded me of that tuck rule game, a little home cooking there.
Yeah, huh? 31-0, North Central leads. And this has gone from a tough dogfight to just a bit of a mess if you're Hanover.
Yeah, the wheels are off here.
10 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Wheaton, 21.
Wheaton has taken the lead at Wartburg, 21-17.
I tell you, I've paying attention to Logan Hansen's models earlier this week. He had them as 4-point favorites in Waverly.
And then didn't pick them in
Didn't
the
pick them. Yeah, I know. He didn't trust his own model. Well, he's a Wartburg guy, so you'd probably pick him with his heart.
That's true. But again, he has
even data guys like that got hearts.
Right. And Logan, though, to Logan's credit, in these postseason games where there's often not common opponents and it's impossible to predict, he does a pretty darn good job.
I'd say maybe the only better is Riley, maybe.
From the 4-yard line, Rexroth looking for a lane. He's got one. And eventually there's just a whole pile of players in front of the Hanover bench. Full first-team defense is out there to begin this series, Grant, but with 3 seconds to go in the third quarter, you do wonder now at this margin, does Brad Spencer start rotating a bit more?
Probably. I mean, you don't have full-scale substitutions like you've got in the regular season just with the dress limit, but definitely maybe get some guys out, especially given the conditions. You don't want anything goofy to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Demir Asheru in a second-string offensive line next time the Cardinals have the football.
I don't even know if they have a full second offensive line dressed.
That's a good point. Well, I believe they do.
Do they? Okay.
I believe there are 10 guys dressed. And Alex Knaprick kind of plays first and second string to a degree. Handoff around the near side to Josh Williams. Williams eventually hit by his own man, who was thrown into him by Mari Roby after a gain of 6 or 7.
Nice blocking by Scotty Johnson on the edge.
Trying to make up for that drop on fourth down. And that brings the third quarter to an end. A dominant 3-touchdown frame for the North Central Cardinals as they pull away here in this second-round game at Benedetti Worley Stadium. 31-0, the Cardinals lead the Hanover Panthers. And Grant Sabo, I think that Brad Spencer and his staff will be a lot more satisfied with where things stand now than they did 15 minutes of football ago.
Yeah, I mean, first half, everybody's figuring things out. Everybody's figuring the footing out. You're figuring out what plays work, what plays you probably shouldn't be calling. You know, there's a learning experience for both the coaches and the players, and once they got things kind of dialed in, I think the Cardinals could kind of dominate in the fashion that they're used to. It's a little bit less equalizing once they figure things out and how to hone and use their athleticism and which plays they should be calling.
We have another game that's gone final. W. Platteville has defeated Alma. They'll take on Bethel next weekend. Some more upper Midwest action there.
Mm-hmm. And in this quad, Bethel will be the 2 seed in this quad to North Central's 1.
So it's looking like it'll be North Central against UW La Crosse here next weekend. We have seen that matchup before.
Mm-hmm. I still have nightmares about it from 2023. That La Crosse team was so hard-hitting and so disciplined, so well-coached.
It's a really good game. I mean, I think you and I would agree, even though neither one of those teams ended up winning the national championship, that La Crosse team was probably the best team the Cardinals saw all season, as this
Correct.
is a very nice run by Josh Williams. And again, that's to take Oh, a very late and low hit came in here at the end of this. This is going to be a 15-yard penalty against Hanover. Again, no discredit at all to the Cortland Dragons, who won the national championship that season. They won the game. They were very deserving winners, but that Cardinals lacrosse game was something else.
Yeah, I mean, between them and Wartburg and Cortland and North Central.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense, number 68, unnecessary roughness, 15 yards from the end of the run, 3rd down.
And that's a name we have seen called today. Bryce Shepard's been really frustrated, and he's going to come in here at the end of this really low and really late. Play is well over, and hello.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Just trying to finish a block, and, Jamar Daniel. Cardinals are really lucky there that Daniel was standing, I guess, how he was, because he didn't get rolled up on there. Looks like they're going to – this is interesting. They said 3rd down over the PA, but I don't think that's right. I think this should be the play stands as a 1st down run, and then you back up the ball 15 yards, and it's 1st and 10. That is the conclusion we have come to here.
Going back to 2023, there were 4 teams that were legit could win the Stag Bowl on any given day in that field. I think that's the strongest top end of the playoff field I've ever seen.
Mount Union would want you to say there was 5 teams who could have won the Stag Bowl that season.
They would, wouldn't they?
That ball is incomplete as Sullivan was putting the pressure on Raudebusch. Again, Mount Union's always going to be in that conversation.
Was that the year they lost to Grove City?
I thought they lost to Cortland on the way.
Was it Cortland?
I think Cortland beat Mount Union and North Central that year in just kind of a Cinderella.
No, I don't think so. I think Grove City beat Mount Union, and then Cortland beat Grove City. That's what I think.
Okay, yeah.
We were watching it up here with Frank.
Oh, that's right. We were. That was a strange year.
Yeah.
But again, there were some really good teams that season, and that game at La Crosse that North Central went to,
Yeah, there and Waverly against Wartburg were. I have nightmares about those games.
Arguably the playoff path that is largely responsible for the implementation of, or a justification if nothing else, for the implementation of NPI. Raudebusch keeps it himself. NPI had already been agreed that it was coming in 2024, but that 2023 quarter of the bracket that I believe had, think of the 8 teams, I think 6 of them were top 15 in the D3Football.com poll.
Right.
And then one other particular bracket had 1 team in the D3Football.com poll, and said team may or may not have lost to Grove City.
At the 36.
3rd and 6. Raudebusch getting instructions from the sideline, relaying them to his teammates. Opening of the 4th quarter. Cardinals bringing some pressure. Raudebusch being chased here by Danny Nuccio and Mavrigoli. Raudebusch are on the corner as those 2 guys took each other out. That pass is caught, but was it in bounds?
I don't think so. Oh, they're calling him in? Wow.
They're going to say this is a nice catch.
Wow.
In the end of the day by
I
Clark
couldn't see where his
Rexroth.
feet were because the North Central players are obscuring my view. Ref definitely had a better view of it than we do up here.
Nice catch by Rexroth. Great play, though, by Ian Raudebusch. Let's take another look.
Yeah, Nuccio hurdles a guy.
And then ends up tangling up with Ole.
Yeah.
And another penalty against Bryce Shepard is going to be called.
I didn't hear what it was, but it's not a personal foul because he's not ejected.
No, they said 10 yards from the previous spot. I think they got him for a hold.
Okay.
And,
Unfortunate for Hanover because that was a really nice play. Oh, legal man downfield.
And so at some point, though, again, I know, it's looking like it's going to be the last game of your season, and it's understandable to be a bit frustrated, but I'm actually a little surprised Shepard is still in this game and that he hasn't been subbed out.
After the penalty, the line of scrimmage is the Hanover 31.
So it's going to be
3rd
down and 11
11
after all of that. This has been a strange drive so far in the way the ball has moved back and forth. Hanover has probably gained about 40 yards on plays, but penalties have meant they haven't gone much of anywhere. 3rd and 11. Raudebusch escapes the pocket, looking downfield, nowhere to go. Danny Nuccio makes the stop. It'll be a loss of 1.
Out of the pocket. Tackled
Great patience and pursuit by the Cardinal linebacker and captain.
I will say he has really figured out the footing on this field very well, especially in the second half. He's really been all over the place.
There was no gain on the play. Fourth down.
He's running in second or third gear when everybody else is still in first or second.
Nick Stoner.
And now they're going to bring on the punt crew again. Got a feel for Nick Stoner, freshman from Providence, Indiana.
Return man for the Cardinals.
Tough task for him today. This will be his 6th attempted punt. He has had 2 blocked. Well, 1 blocked and 1 was simply fumbled. This is a good kick. And Miles Walton slips as he tries to turn, and he should just leave this ball alone. He will. And it's eventually downed by Hanover.
There's a flag, too. I don't know. 11 jumped. That's
Johnson.
Jalen Johnson jumped and got upended, and there was a flag thrown on that, but I don't know necessarily if anything illegal occurred. That I saw there's actually 2 flags on the field. See what these both are.
And then Cannon Brooms was drawing with some Cardinals. Everybody's off the field as if they think this is not going to result in a re-kick. Or maybe not. Another long discussion between officials.
Yeah, with 2 separate fouls. I think they got to figure out what they want to do.
I didn't see the second flag.
It's over here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, kicking team. 23. Number 23. Personal foul, leaping. 11. Receive team, number 11. Those will offset, replay 4th down.
So we're going to re-kick this. So yeah, that you can't use an opposing player as a boost, basically, to jump over them.
Yeah, and that's what Johnson did. He tried to jump, and I don't know if it was necessarily a boost, as the blocker just kind of caught under his pads and played rocket ship with him.
I think that guy is who got called for the hold. So I think it's also a little unfair to the Hanover player. It's like, hey, wait a minute. If the guy is committing an illegal act by jumping over me like that, am I not allowed to hold him?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, the guy was also standing straight up and down, too, so how are you going to jump over him? I don't know.
And now we've got way out on the field, we've got Coach Matt Theobald voicing his displeasure about something. His team is still standing on the sideline. Cardinals are ready to do this again. And I think we're about to get an explanation.
The holding foul was against the defense, number 23.
Oh.
So both fouls are against the defense. The hold will be declined. Leaping penalty will be forced 15 yards from the previous spot with an automatic 1st down.
Wow, it's a 15-yard penalty?
Yeah, 15-yard penalty on Johnson from the previous spot. That's a 1st down, and the defense comes back out for the Cardinals.
A good on Coach Theobald for arguing his point.
Absolutely. Because, again, if you're looking for a 23, yeah, can't do that. And then somewhere else in here, they called a holding penalty against Joey Gilada. Once again, a lot of ball movement on this drive, not a whole lot of actual progress up the field due to all of the penalties. And those now include penalties against North Central. 12:16 to go in the game. It is 1st down and 10 from the 45.
Hanover retains possession, 1st and 10, just outside the 45-yard line.
Taking a look at the team stats to see what Hanover's total offense is up to, because it hasn't grown much in this drive. Raudebush to throw, under pressure, dumps it short and incomplete.
I lied to you, too. Dave Mateo just corrected me. It was Alma that beat Mount Union in 23.
Ah. Total yards, Cardinals 297, Hanover 256 at last update. We've got more whistles. And Rennick again has that right arm hanging down by his side. Don't want to see that, and so that probably will be the end of the day for Eli.
Hopefully get him out and get him back healthy for next week.
I envision a large amount of tape on his shoulder and upper arm in that game next week.
Get one of those spider braces.
2nd and 10. Raudebush, QB keeper. Right up the middle he goes and is brought down by Janiak after a gain of 4.
Tackled by Matthew Janiak.
Looking at the defensive stats here for the Cardinals. No, we don't have our normal stat system today, so it's a little harder to keep track of. This says that Danny Nuccio has 13 tackles?
Yes, 13 tackles. Yeah, I told you, he's been all over the field.
Sure.
We got to knock on the door next door and tell them that he's a player of the game for WNC.
I'd agree with that right now. 3rd and 6. Hanover just 2 out of 11 on 3rd down. And that's going to be 2 out of 12. As I don't even know who has the football there. Like 3 different guys got tackled.
Is it Williams?
And more talking after the whistle. 4th down and 4 or 5
A gain of 2.
And absolutely, you got to go for it here if you're Hanover. What do they draw up here? Again, if I was them, I'd spread this out and trust Raudebusch to make good decisions. He's in the backfield here with Blake Nation, the running back to his left. 3 wide receivers. Make that a 4th now with Johnson flaring out. 4th down, Raudebusch flushed by Johnson. Raudebusch stepping up, Raudebusch looking downfield, there's nowhere to go. Ball is tipped in the air, out of bounds, and incomplete. It's a turnover on downs, and the Cardinals take over.
Excellent, just how you drew it up.
Really good timing there by the linebackers in the secondary, kind of rushing forward there at the end once Raudebusch looked like he might consider running. He just runs out of room here.
Still want to see better contain on these quarterbacks. Wesleyan got outside on us all day.
Certainly something that UW La Crosse and other potential opponents of the Cardinals will be looking at.
Blaha for sure at River Falls.
Of course, Cardinals can't see him until a potential Stag Bowl appearance.
Correct.
1st and 10. All the starters look like they're still out there for the Cardinals. As Skogna goes in motion from their own 49, right up the middle. Zeb Rashid spins and then is pushed forward by Alex Knaprick, the right guard.
Tackled by Garen Jenkins.
Garen Jenkins made the tackle after Rashid's gain of 5. Into Hanover territory, the Cardinals go. 2nd down and 6. Wilson to throw. And it's Skogna who makes the catch with some good blocking ahead of him. Skogna cuts infield. It was some good blocking there by Zeb Rashid as it's a 1st down for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Skogna went low, and actually a couple of Hanover Panthers collided with each other when they were both trying to get him here at the end of the play.
Skogna makes his 5th catch of the day.
I thought he was heading out too, but he did a nice job reading the blocks of both Rashid and I think it was McAtee on the top of the screen, and came back in.
Wartburg leads 24-21 now over Wheaton with 5 minutes to play.
Wow.
Get the live stats for that game pulled up permanently. Bobbled snap eventually gets it to Zeb Rashid. Rashid around the right side. There's going to be a holding penalty here against the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's coming back. Impressive, though, that they were able to make something out of that, because that did not start out well.
There is a flag on the field.
On their last touchdown, Wartburg went for
Offense,
2
number
and got
52,
it
10-yard
to make
penalty.
it a 3-point game.
Repeat 1st down.
Wheaton currently have the ball at midfield and are driving with 4:57 to go in the game. So we will keep you updated on that game in particular. Meanwhile, it'll be 1st and 20 for North Central. Wilson still out there at quarterback. Zeb Rashid is the running back.
After the penalty, 1st and 20.
Allen with 27 yards on the ground today. Rashid 22, Wilson 13. Wilson to throw. Good protection. Lobs it to the near side. Skokna makes the adjustment and the catch. Right at the first down marker, they will, oh, excuse me, no, that's right at the original yardage marker. My mistake. Right. Gain of 10.
Yeah, Skokna really had to kind of come back for that. It was really underthrown. He would have had some green grass, well, can't call it green grass, white snow to run over if the ball were thrown a little bit more accurately.
And we've got another discussion here with the referees. I think we had some more afters.
I don't see any laundry on the field.
Well, Cortez Jones is dancing and celebrating something. Let's see what our referee has to say.
During the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 10. That's number 10's second unsportsmanlike conduct of the game. Number 10 is disqualified.
So it's a second unsportsmanlike conduct against Garen Jenkins, and he has been ejected. And maybe we'll get a look at the replay here, because they said it was during the play, which I was surprised to hear them say.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that, and like I said, I didn't see a flag, so.
Number 10 is on the far end. He's up against Cortez Jones, and
I saw Jones shuck him in his head. Kind of looked like a bobblehead, but I didn't see anything beyond that.
My guess, let's see if we can get a look here. I wonder if a punch is thrown here. Let's look at the far end of the line. They're going at each other. Yeah, that's what happened. They were just really pushing each other back and forth, and then there was a bit of a right hook from 10 and White just as he was leaving our picture there, and that got him disqualified. 1st and 10 Cardinals. Rashid pushing, and pushing some more. Cardinals want to keep him going forward. Look at this effort by the Cardinal offensive line. Still
First down.
Going inside the 10.
He was stopped 7 yards before where he went down.
We've seen this a couple times this season where the offensive lineman will get ahead of the play. Watch this. The offensive linemen get ahead of the play and then go backwards to drag him forward. Nunez and Naprick on that occasion. It'll be 1st and goal North Central at the 10-yard line.
Back in the day, and I don't know what happened to it, there used to be an aiding the runner penalty.
1st and goal.
It must be off the books with tush push and this. And
reward those offensive linemen for their hard work. 1st and goal, whistles, timeout North Central.
Wasn't there controversy with Reggie Bush in that versus Notre Dame?
So no, I think the controversy, of that is, there was a penalty that basically said you cannot block from behind and push a guy forward like that. And the argument was that Matt Leinart, the USC quarterback, after Bush had kind of been stopped, then pushed him into the end zone.
Right.
Of course, that play had lots of ripple effects because it meant that USC went to play Texas in the national championship game instead of Notre Dame. Texas wins that game on that Vince Young,
right,
legendary performance. Notre Dame got rocked in the Sugar Bowl by Ohio State.
Under 1 minute to go in regulation. Wartburg 24, Wheaton 21.
So I'm watching this. Wheaton is down inside the 5.
With the football.
With 42 seconds left.
I've got the stats up. Grant's got the video going of a snowy game in Waverly, but the snow appears to have stopped there.
Not even close to what we're seeing here. I can actually see the turf where they cleared it. Got sharp yard lines and hash marks.
Yeah, the snow has slowed up in terms of the amount falling and the rate it's falling at in this second half, but it's still snowing, it's still windy. Still generally unpleasant. 1st and goal. Wilson, play action. Jalen Johnson bobbled. Did he get a foot down after he caught it? Yes, he did, as he goes careening into the fence behind the end zone. And Jalen Johnson has his first touchdown reception at Benedetti Worley Stadium.
Second of the year, second today. Not reception, but second touchdown today.
Yep, 4 total touchdowns this season, 2 of them as a wide receiver, 2 of them blocking punts.
What a wild stat.
Cardinals extend the lead and out for the extra point. comes Ellison. They're in a timeout in Waverly right now.
Yep, it's 3rd down from the 4.
Wheaton are down 3, so you would have to think if they don't convert it, they'd kick the field goal.
Field goal and send it to OT. Although Waverly is not the best place to play.
Ellison on for the extra point. No problems for him once again. Kick is good. 38-0 North Central. 6:47 to go in this one as we take another look at the pitch and catch from Garrett Wilson to Jalen Johnson.
All right. He slipped too. That's the second person that slipped.
Cardinals have now scored in all 4 quarters today.
The Cardinals scoring drive, 5 plays, 51 yards, 3 minutes, 43 seconds off the game clock. Garrett Wilson, 9 yards.
We're hearing from the WONC booth to our right. They're ahead of us.
Yeah, they scored. They just scored.
And Wheaton has scored a touchdown in the last minute of the game against Wartburg, and it looks like the Thunder might be about to upset the 1 seed in their corner of the bracket. Potential crash course over there between Wheaton and River Falls.
Yeah, that's huge.
Winner of that game will play Whitewater or DePaul.
DePaul was up.
Try to find that game on my scroll here. DePaul 26, Whitewater 23, 2 minutes to go.
Wow, that's a tight one too.
A lot of good games today, but that's not surprising in the round of 32.
Sure. The modern round of 32.
Yes, the modern round of 32. It's again one of the benefits of NPI is we don't.
Oh, it's the benefits of the 40-team playoff.
The 40-team playoff NPI. Yeah, just everything's spread out in a way that makes more sense. Fair catch called for as that ball just rolled to a stop. And let's see what Hanover do here offensively, Grant. I don't know if I want to see them just throw the ball around a bunch or what.
Yeah, they can kind of do what they want at this point. Have some fun.
Entire second-team defense is into the game for the Cardinals, or as much of a second-team defense as they can throw out there. Maverick Ole is still on the field. Philip Carlton's out there. He's played a lot of snaps today. Kenny Rutherford's out there. Graham White, Troy Cashel, Tucker Johnson. Chase Osborne back to wearing number 6, it looks like. Gabriel Georgie in there at safety as well. Raudebusch, play action, throws it to the near side, and a good open field tackle made there by number 53. That's Drew Harp.
Who else was in on that? Is it 28?
Carlton.
It's Carlton?
Philip Carlton Jr.
Yeah.
And number 6 today is indeed Chase Osborne at safety. Lucas Rossini out there at corner on the far side. And also Trayvon Hunter, number 16, is in the game. 2nd down and 10 for Raudebusch and the Panthers. Another high snap. The give inside is to Josh Williams, and this is a good run for Williams. He's got 1st down yardage.
See, when he's handed the ball, he looks good today.
Josh Williams, the ball carrier.
Well, he had 41 yards on the game before that carry. That now makes him the game's leading rusher for Hanover, ahead of Blake Nation. Nation who had that big run on the first play of the game for Hanover. It was a Matt Kreider 4-yard run for Wheaton to give them the late lead. Raudebusch stepping up, has room to move. Raudebusch threw that late, and I think he might have been ahead of the line of scrimmage.
I thought so too.
No flag as of yet. Let's take a look here. Let's see where he is when he releases this football. Remember, just any part of your body has to be behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, and it was. Good no call by the referees. We don't have the best angle up here. 2nd and 10.
Nine seconds left in Waverly. Wartburg's got the ball at midfield, 1st and 10.
So a Hail Mary upcoming for the Knights.
Or hook and ladder.
2nd and 10. Swung to the near side. That ball hung up for a while, but here's some open field for Kurbry and Shelby. Shelby down the near side is out of bounds. Nice catch and run there by Shelby, the junior from Indianapolis. Entered today with exactly 1,000 yards receiving on the season. This ball took a while to get there, but then the blocking from his teammates downfield was solid.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Credit there to Pennington and Rexroth for their work downfield. And can Hanover get that goose egg off the scoreboard here with under 5 minutes to go? Williams is the running back. Play clock resets to 25 seconds. Raudebush, QB keeper. Met by Cashel, who brings him down after a gain of maybe 1 or 2. Troy Cashel, the freshman from right here in Naperville, went to Naperville Central.
I can see their, well, if it weren't for the snow, I'd be able to see their stadium lights right now.
Cashel is listed at 6'4", 237. One of those guys looking to be an heir to J.P. Sullivan in the center of the Cardinals' defensive line.
Incomplete pass in Waverly. 7 seconds left.
Second down. Good hole here for Williams. Williams going toward the goal line, and he is in for a touchdown. Well, if anybody deserved it today for how they've played on this Hanover offense, Josh Williams, the freshman running back from Alabama in the snow, gets the score and gets Hanover on the board.
Yeah, I mean, he ran really well in the second half here when he got his opportunities.
Williams gets his 4th rushing touchdown of the season and gives these traveling Hanover fans something to late on.
Make that 5-hour bus ride going back not so bad.
And for the first time today, really, we get to see the lefty kick of Clint Hearn, their place kicker. 48 out of 52 on extra points this season. And the snap is fumbled, and just diving on top of it is the holder. I believe that's Rexroth, and the try is no good, so it's 38-6.
Boy, they've had long snapping issues all day long. In Waverly, big completion down to like the 30-yard line or so, and there's 2 seconds left.
Down 4 though, so a field goal wouldn't do it.
No, yeah, you gotta send one here, but it's doable from where they're at.
We've seen crazy endings in the D3 football playoffs in recent years. Saw Mount Union escape last season on a Hail Mary at the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're seeing just a really, I think some frustration from Coach Theobald on the Hanover sideline, really giving it into the ear of one of the officials.
Hail Mary was tipped twice and then batted out of the back of the end zone. Game over. Wheaton wins.
And this conversation's ongoing, so Coach Theobald was really giving it to the official who's currently holding the football. That official walked away. Then he went over to a different official, was pointing at the first official he was yelling at. And now he's having a discussion with his kicker, Clint Hearn, I imagine, about an onside.
I mean, I guess, but what it would.
Yeah, Christopher Newport and Wartburg both go down, the 1 seeds on the right side of the bracket today. Adjust your North Central and Mount Union Stag Bowl odds accordingly. Although I think there's probably a lot of people in D3 football world with the opinion that if that game happens, it will de facto be the Stag Bowl in Alliance.
A lot of people thought that in 23, but North Central came out so banged up.
See what Hearn does here. And whistles. North Central takes a timeout, and maybe some mind games going on here. Second timeout for North Central with 3:44 to go. Slowly filling in my personal bracket over the course of today. Wheaton knocking off Wartburg. Let's see if we've got any other final scores to tell you about. We do, because almost everyone's final.
Yeah, we just had the extra long halftime.
DePauw 26, Whitewater 23. That is final. So it's DePauw against Wheaton next week.
Probably in Wheaton?
I think DePauw. Did DePauw play last week? I don't think they did. Believe they're the higher seed because Wheaton had to play into that 1 seed matchup. I'm not positive. So again, Wheaton against DePauw next week. St. John's, River Falls, that's a big game as well. That corner of the bracket's really fun. Susquehanna against Eastern, Salisbury against Johns Hopkins in the bottom right corner. Top left corner, we've got Mount Union against John Carroll. And which of the Texas teams will it be? It'll be Trinity. They win 34-24 over Hardin-Simmons.
Hardin-Simmons choked again.
They will take on Barry next weekend. North Central against Wisconsin Lacrosse, and Platteville against Bethel round out the slate.
That's pretty chalk for the most part, other than Wheaton.
Wheaton winning and Susquehanna beating Christopher Newport, but I don't think a lot of people are that surprised.
Right. Look at this.
Ballard III, he's got speed. Ballard III is dragged down. And I think that's about the 32.
It's getting a little dicey here because even the lines aren't as clear as they were.
Cardinals are going to bring in the second team offense here. Demir Ashrew will get to take a few snaps at quarterback here in the snow. So again, next week it'll be the Cardinals will host lacrosse here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. The winner of that to face either Platteville or Bethel. Ashrew into the game with Jordan Williams at running back. First time we've seen both of them today. Ashrew hands to Williams. Williams is spun down after a gain of 7 or 8.
Good to see Williams get a tote and do something with it.
Jordan this season, that's his 39th rush, now over 190 yards on the year, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida. Playing in his 22nd game as a Cardinal here. And you've got just fresh legs all over the place here for the Cardinals, and I would expect nothing less than 110% effort from this group.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. 2nd and 3. Williams again. He's got the first down.
Yeah, put together a nice long drive here and just grind out the clock, put it on your offensive line to go ice the game.
Only one timeout remaining if the Panthers wanted to stop the clock. Cardinals also with just one. Ballard III checks in. Keep an eye on number 5 here on this next snap. Brad Spencer's told us how they want to just find ways to get him the ball more. And I have a feeling a big focus of preseason next year will be figuring out what exactly to do with him in this offense in the year where you're going to be replacing a lot of talent in the receiving corps.
They had a lot of young talent, though, Coach Spencer was pretty excited about.
Ballard III, Vitale, and Kahn are the 3 they really, really like. Here's Williams again. Picks up 4 or 5. We've seen Ahil Khan catch a touchdown pass this season as we hit the 2-minute timeout here in Naperville. 38-6 the Cardinals lead as they work to move on to the round of 16 in this year's NC Division III football championship. Cardinals looking to plot a path to yet another Stag Bowl. It has been 7 years since Division III's national championship game did not include the North Central Cardinals.
It was the season in which we last saw Hanover, 2018.
Correct. Hopefully, from a North Central perspective, there is nothing
nothing remotely similar.
Similar in that regard. Not that the road wouldn't be tough. I mean, if we can look ahead, the players and the coaches won't, but if you get by lacrosse, you're probably looking at a visit from Bethel, who it's tough to know exactly how good Bethel are. St. John's are good this year, but not as good as they have been in recent years. So Bethel winning the conference this season, running the table. Really won't know how good they are until a potential game here in Naperville against them in the quarterfinal. As Williams goes to the other hip of Asheru. Williams, another give, and here he goes. Williams is upended. That's a good tackle in the end there by Marjon Pickett. And another first down for the Cardinals. As Jordan Williams puts in some work here.
Yeah, nice job up front by the offensive line to get him just enough space, little 18 inches to run through.
Clock ticking under 100 seconds to go.
A gain of 14 and a North Central first down.
First down Cardinals, and I have a feeling we're going to see another handoff to Mr. Williams. .120 to go. Cardinals will only have to snap this ball maybe twice more. It is Williams. Williams trying to get to the right edge and never really found it as he picks up 1 yard.
Yeah, snow is starting to get a little bit thick on the field again here.
Like we saw at the end of that first half.
Right.
Second down and 9. Cardinals will have to run one more play if they choose to. Though I'm...
They got Galashki blazing?
Yeah, Galashki Blaze is out there.
Yeah.
Pieper just checked in. Ahil Khan's in there. So it looks like they're going to get Galashki a carry. Blaze, the junior from Chatham, Illinois. Under 30 seconds. Here is, no, Demir Asheru is going to keep the football. And Asheru cutting up field. Demir still going, and he's slung down after picking up a first down. That should do it. Should do it, though, as Asheru gets his carry. A couple guys just giving some pats on the head to celebrate another playoff victory in this building. The Cardinals, much in that same way, you've got to go back a very long way to the last time North Central lost a postseason game here at Benedetti Worley Stadium. That does not change today. The Cardinals are 11-0 and on to the round of 16. Final score here in Naperville. North Central 38, Hanover 6.
Yeah, excellent job today. I mean, once the elements got figured out, you know, things were kind of business as usual here at Benedetti Worley. It was a very similar tempo in the second half to what we're used to seeing.
Again, we praise the way the Cardinals go about third quarters. North Central scoring 3 touchdowns in the third to really put this game out of reach. And once again, Grant, it's a day where several different parts of this Cardinals team show off their depth, show off their strength, and show that the Cardinals can get a game done in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, you expect to see a lot of running between the tackles, but I wouldn't even say that that's what North Central necessarily did. I mean, I wouldn't say that they really changed a whole lot of what they did offensively. You didn't see a whole lot of long shots down the field, but some, you know, you had that big long pass to Rummel.
Time to celebrate.
Yeah, they're having fun here.
Meanwhile,
Snow Angels
celebrating with their teammates who weren't on the dress list today.
Little snowball fight.
As long as no one gets hit in the eye.
Leave your helmet on.
The Snow Angels for a few guys out there. Cardinals will, again, wanting to try to get a little healthier. They'll hope to have Donovan McNeil back potentially next week. Although, again, this running back room with the likes of Allen, Rashid, and Williams, as we saw today, no shortage of talent there either. But just a really complete and patient performance from the North Central Cardinals as they advance next week, next Saturday, again at noon here on ESPN+. It'll be North Central hosting Wisconsin lacrosse in the renewal of a very familiar playoff rivalry of this decade in the NCAA Division III Football Championship in the Upper Midwest. We hope you can join us for that. We really appreciate everybody joining us today, and especially if you would have come to the game ordinarily but decided to stay indoors on account of the weather. We understand that decision, and we hope we made the experience almost as good as watching in person at Benedetti Worley Stadium. A big shout out to all of the Hanover fans tuning in today. Congrats to Coach Theobald and the Panthers on a great season, on a conference championship, and hopefully they can kind of establish themselves as the dominant force in the HCAC and make trips like this more regularly. Thank you for tuning in wherever you were around the country today or just down the street here in Naperville. We hope you join us again next week for the round of 16 as the North Central Cardinals look to carve yet another path through the snow, through the wind, through the rain, and through the D3 football championships toward yet another Stag Bowl appearance. That is going to do it for our broadcast today, though, here from Naperville. For our entire Naperville Community Television crew, for everybody here at North Central Athletics who makes these broadcasts possible. For my broadcast partner, Grant Sabo, I'm Alex Campbell saying so long from Benedetti Worley Stadium, and we'll see you right back here next week on ESPN Plus for another Cardinal playoff game day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.